Shillelagh.
So, during these last few sessions, you, the Hammer Strike, have been taking part in a great battle for Druvenholm after you rushed your way to this southernmost dwarven stronghold in Leyland, and a tide of goblinoids and ogres descended upon the stronghold under the command of Hobgoblin Warlord Grimlin. Ogres barreled down the valley, warg riders clashed with ram riders, bows fired and arrows screamed through the air. Catapults mounted atop Ogreback launched their deadly payloads. Dwarven cannoneers and runic golems devastated their ranks, while the Iron Guard and the Mountain Guard held the line. But the battle quickly became dire as the Hill Giants, under the command of Grimlin via a cliff-top signal tower, shattered a breach in the side of the stronghold's outer wall. And he proceeded to signal his forces to push the advantage, bearing down upon the Dwarven forces. You attempted to fend them off by reinforcing their defensive lines at the breach. However, reinforcements came to aid you, as Dwarven Queen Mara Freefeather of Farinholm flew south on her eagle riders to keep her oath to aid Druvenholm. Liska was joined by a dire bear from the forest, charging into battle alongside the Steamhammer, and with Grunker and Velen riding on Eagleback, as all of you made your way up to the peak of the signal tower to confront Warlord Grimlin himself and put a stop to him and his signal tower. The bear itself broke off and tore into the incoming forces on their way to defend the path up to the Warlord. The battle with Grimlin was dire, and Arngrim and Grunker were very nearly killed. However, thanks to cooperation and smart teamwork on your parts, you managed to pull through. Grimlin was killed in glorious battle, just as he'd always wanted, and died by Arngrim's hands, with a crooked smile on his face. So, as the adrenaline begins to wear off, members of the Hammer Strike, what would you like to do?
Well, I'd like to unmute for starters, that would help. Tham's gonna have a sit down because he's sort of just recovering from the blood rush of rage he's not accustomed to. There's a dog sneezing in the background. Yeah, so for the time being he will be taking a breather there. I believe he just sort of caught Arngrim as he was falling over, with great difficulty given how chunky his plate is. And that's what he'll be doing for the meantime while I tend to a very needy dog. Yes, a needy dog.
Okay.
Anyway, bear back.
So, Liska is going to pretty much just, once Fuckface is dead, she's going to look around for any... Actually, she's going to run up, and she's going to just grab a leg or something of the signal flags and try to tip it.
Alright, go ahead and make an athletics check.
Okay.
This massive 50-foot tall signal tower, you can see the leathery sails, you can see a number of pulleys and cogs in the top here, where ogres, presumably with their enormous strength, have been trying to sort of reorient the sails however they see fit.
Oh, that is a nat one.
However, you push with all your might, and it seems as though the signal tower is very much rooted to the floor. You can see a number of iron pegs which kind of fixate it to the stone ground here. It looks as though the thing may be sort of winched on this what would you say, this sort of rotating pulley system where it can be pulled up into view.
Then very quickly she's going to unpulley it.
Alright. So it's going to take a bit of time here, because you now won on your first one. Go ahead and make a second athletics check.
To use a pulley system? Okay.
Sorry, I thought you were just forcing it down. Are you using the pulley system, yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, you take a hold of the ropes, and using all your strength, you kind of pulley it down. You watch as gradually the signal tower comes down bit by bit until it's horizontal with this pillar here.
And then Liska's going to look back to the rest of the group and be like, "Come on, we need to fuck up the other one." And she's going to, get down somehow, because I'm pretty sure there's more to the map than we can see. But I guess she can take this ways around to get to this.
You could certainly, yes.
Okay, because she doesn't want.
You say take longer around. Okay.
Yeah.
Or
So
you
it's
could
pretty
just,
straight.
proceed forward and just slide down the wall.
Well, that's what I said. I didn't want to.
Take
jump
fall
down 30 feet.
Yeah. Oh, you
Yes.
It looks
She's-
like a sheer drop, less of a slide.
I mean, I am
give
a
you
mountain
that.
folk and I can climb mountains. For
Yeah.
sure, why not? This
I
is going
hope
to
Could
Okay.
she do that little goat thing?
I mean, that's,
use her hooves.
that is kind of what mountain folk are inspired by. So,
Okay, so yeah, she's gonna climb down real quick,
yeah, okay. So,
so she can do it.
Mam's gonna come help.
it's you gradually sort of inch your way down slowly, bit by bit, kind of inching your way down the side of this cliff. It's not a sheer drop by any means. It's a sort of a very, very steep slide down, and eventually you meet a sprinting villain, makes his way around, and you see this raging bonfire. You see the back half of this enormous visage to presumably the Goblin King.
Meanwhile, Silas gonna try and make sure Arngrim is at least somewhat okay.
He looks very bruised, very battered, and he's unconscious.
You would
Thank
say
fuck.
these should be lethal wounds.
Well, thank fuck I have cure wounds.
Right.
You think if you start to cast anything, he's gonna stop you? He just wants a breather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've paid a lot. It's just tiring. Oh, he kind of pats himself off as he tries to get up and stumbles a bit. I haven't had a scrap like that since ever.
Well, on the plus side of things, I'm fairly sure there's a keg of ale waiting for you.
Okay, that's right. And he's gonna pull out his flask. No need to wait for the keg when I've got old flasky.
So, Liska and Velling both see this raging bonfire, this totemic visage of the Goblin King before you. What are you doing?
Question: what is it made of?
You can see the back half of the mask. The front half appears to be made of what looks like this cobbled together wood and iron. The back half appears to be just metal, seemingly to prevent the whole mask from burning.
Okay. Liska is going to look to Vellum and be like, "How are you with heights?"
I'm alright with them. I'm
Okay.
a little lightheaded, but I'll be fine.
Then get on this side, and she's gonna point here, and I'll get on the other. And let's have a symbolic "we fucked up the king and beat him" thing. And she's going to basically explain. She wants to push the mask forward so it falls off the cliff and falls down the side of the mountain.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Alright, so,
Yeah. What better way to show that your head honcho has been ousted than to get his face down the mountain? Should
All
send
right.
a message. Alright. He's got to position himself. Still a little bit loopy, but by now it's like been a few minutes, so.
Alright. So,
Are you ready? Are you ready to fucking carry this check?
That's why I'm rolling with advantage.
there you go. Go ahead and roll.
Mr. Base level strength over here.
Hopefully I roll very well. Oh, yes.
26.
26.
With a hefty push of all your might, you see at the base of it the very sort of winches and small iron kind of rivets that have bolted this thing into place. Tick, tick, and you watch as the whole thing creaks. This massive 50-foot tall totemic visage starts careening down the side of the mountain, taking what looks like this enormous bowl behind it. Just coals and all down the side of the mountain, embers just dashed against the side of the rocks. The wood is just shattered apart as the thing in its entirety careens down the side of the cliff, taking a number of large rocks with it.
Well, that's that done.
Yep.
I'll be honest, when you asked if I had a problem with heights, I thought you were gonna, like, lift me up or something. Felt like that's where I was going.
But no, it's just, there's a ledge.
Oh, yeah, yes. The ledge is the problem. Heights are no problem, it's just going down them that's the problem. At that point, you can't really do anything about it.
True. At some point. That's why you always keep, like, trusty little piton. Slam it into the mountain to stop it yourself. It might dislocate the shoulder, but it prevents you from falling.
Or a very reliable mountain folk who don't give a shit about heights.
That too.
He's gonna give a wry smile, given, the whole thing with the dragon before.
As soon as
100-foot drop, no problem.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Just nope, just no issue. So as you make your way back, as you look down the side of the mountain and out to the battlefield, the both of you can see that the green tide, Grimnum's forces, are now starting to lose ground. The combined assault of both your aid on the front lines and Queen Mara's Eagle Riders seemingly beginning to tip the scales in favour of Khazad's army. Druvenholm is rallying. Eagle Riders are swooping into lines of hobgoblins, just picking them up and tossing them off the side of the cliff into the sea. Others are just being swept aside like piles of snow. King Khazad has now broken away from the front lines and is now deep within enemy lines, smacking down ogres left and right. And as the signal tower and the totem comes down, you can see Grimnum's forces are gradually becoming ever more uncoordinated. Skirmishes start to break out across the valley as the goblinoids and ogres begin to scatter, fighting on multiple fronts. They're being spread thin and by the sort of coordinated fronts of Mara and Khazad, like sheepdogs among sheep. Both King and Queen rally their forces to separate stragglers from the larger groups, wherein they could be picked off by cannon fire or eagle talons. Eventually, you both make your way back to the rest of the group.
Zoom out so I don't spend forever scrolling. Oh, it's a Gronky. Check on that.
It's me.
It's hard. It was hard to tell amongst the pile of bodies.
Yeah.
How much life do you have?
Me?
Yeah.
I have 7.
Alright.
I had 3 before.
I mean, for a barbarian, you've been beaten up quite a bit.
Oh yeah, no, I took quite a lot of beatings.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know about that whole thing. I mean, I'm glad it worked out, but I don't know how Gronka does that. It's you just lose sight of everything, and it's just red.
Well, I guess it kind of depends on how you focus the anger. I know of some of my kind, well, all of my kind tend to have a very poor outlook on anger. Well, unfocused anger, uncontrolled anger. But if you had a way of focusing it to make it a white-hot blade instead of a red haze, I feel
that's the
that
tricky
that would
thing,
suit you
isn't it?
better.
Yeah, because I mean, I've seen enough angry drunks swing at me in my time to know that it can, dull your senses, fuck you up, and make you worse at fighting. So I've been a little hesitant to use that potion chug on the way down, but I mean, I don't remember a lot of what just happened. All I remember is murder. But worked out. And
Speaking
things that
of-
need to be dead are dead.
So speaking of which, you both look on to see Arngrim very swiftly decapitate the Gremlin, separating the head from the shoulders.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hey. Good cut. Thank you, Saryu. It would have been harder without you.
This is also going to... Oh, sorry.
I mean, last thing we want to do is have you accidentally missing a thumb.
Hey. We
Wait,
don't
did
need
you-
to have a 52 to add to 32.
Wait, that cooking utensils was your
I didn't want to
check?
interrupt, but it's so much more disturbing than
I mean,
That's interesting. I didn't know.
I don't know, I
Let's
just
cook
did that with
both.
fucking...
It's a delicacy.
Well, I'll
I was just
allow
using
it.
his butcher's tools.
Yeah, I'll allow it. It's
Yeah, that makes sense. It was just no context. Cookies,
It's a meat
cooked
cleaver.
utensils. Continue.
It's
Sorry,
meat cleaver.
didn't want to interrupt the armor.
No, go ahead. That's what he just did. You see us. What are you doing? I'm assuming you walk up and see this.
This was just going to kind of give a casual nod, like, okay, yeah, makes sense. And then she is going to look this motherfucker over
Alright.
and be like, what gear you got, bitch? She's basically going to strip everything off him.
Alright,
And
so
we loot goblin.
the armor is very sort of it's ramshackle hodgepodge of very thick armor plating. The shield and the flail.
Sal did nod to them and say it might be worth checking those out later.
Yeah, the shield and the flail look unusually fine, unusually finely made for any sort of goblin weaponry or armor.
I promise you, those are stolen fucking dwarven artifacts.
Oh yeah, probably.
Definitely.
As such, let's go, we'll take them.
Okay.
Finders keepers, fuck the dwarves.
Yeah.
Tell him
At
it's
least
going
let
to
us
check
go
on.
over the loot later on so we can determine who can best use it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a
Oh
later.
yeah, like she's not gonna just jack it. Just
Ninja.
she wants to make sure that it is taken, that it's not just left out here for the crows.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't plan on leaving anything out here.
You pile all the bodies and burn them or something.
I mean, unless Arngrim wants to perform another fucking display of totally not blood magic.
Yeah. He's taking Gremlin. He seems very interested in that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't care if you take the body as a trophy. I'm more inclined about the whole totally not blood magic.
It's totally
sure
not
it's fine.
blood magic. There's nothing to worry about.
I mean,
is
there's
there-
worse things to be concerned about, let's be honest. But Valm's gonna see Grunker, who has probably gotten several shades of shit kicked out of him. Oh shit, Grunks, you alright?
Yeah, it's several like kilos lighter now. Oh yeah. Oh
Be alright to walk, or
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
insight.
All right.
I'm just is he being just tough about it, or is he genuine?
I mean, he could probably walk.
Probably.
Yeah.
I like the way you phrased that because
Yeah.
I mean, he has
I mean, you
exhaustion
wanna-
too, right? Isn't a speed half?
Yeah.
Do you
Exhaustion
wanna
too.
like probably carry it for a bit until you get your bearings?
I mean, oh. Sure. Sure.
All right. He's gonna sort of like crouch down in piggyback fashion.
Oh.
Come on, you worked hard today. Figure you can get a bit of a rest on the way down.
Grunka looks at the two hill giants. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Okay.
And presumably, well, once he hops up, Velm's gonna piggyback. Let's go.
Yep.
Okay. So, Sagan and Liski, want to check out the tents?
yeah,
Okay.
I do plan on checking out the tent.
Alright, so you both make your way over to these rugged looking tents constructed of what looks like ramshackle wood, rope, bits of stone, other bits of detritus. You see cured hides, which as you kind of make your way in, you sort of part a sort of curtain of cured hides, and as you sort of rummage through the tents, you see rudimentary sleeping quarters of pelts, straw, animal hides. You can see stacks upon stacks of rusted and nasty-looking sword and gnarled-looking clubs. You also find a number of actually, go ahead and make an investigation check, Sagan, with advantage from Niska.
Hey, it's one of the things I'm good at.
Yay, big
14.
brains.
14. Doesn't take you. Well, actually, this may take a little bit longer to find the following. Since you are pretty exhausted from the fight.
Oh shit.
Yeah, your vision is a bit hazy in places, but eventually you do find what looks like a number of thinly cured leather hides upon a long, kind of ramshackle table, hidden beneath looks like a piece of armor. You can see these hides are sort of scrawled upon with charcoal patterns.
What do we have here?
You do not understand this. Actually, what languages do you speak?
Orcish, Common, and Demonic.
You do not understand these writings.
I wasn't
I
really
understand
expecting.
Dwarven. Do I know them?
Nope.
Okay. Double check.
But clearly this is some sort of writing.
Really, these are big words.
Am I nearby? not sure.
We're gonna stash these for later use or later
Okay.
translation, hopefully.
Because I'm saying, given this situation, it might be giant. I can read that.
We'll find out. Yeah. Noting those for later.
Alright. That's about all you find here. Goblins, not much in the way of any sort of valuables beyond what they carry on them.
anything of value has been allotted to the war boss's efforts?
Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? Speaking of which, you do find a satchel of about 200 gold pieces, and these look to be most certainly dwarven gold pieces.
Ah, yes, stolen goods. Alright. 200 of dwarven gold.
Given the context of the situation with your passive investigation, most likely stolen from this place.
And I'm assuming that this was a investigation of both tents.
Yeah, this would be an investigation for both tents. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just double checking so we don't have to do it again.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I think. Do we want to take a rest here for now? We could probably wait until the cavalry arrives before we have to go back. Oh, I guess y'all have the big machine. Do we just want to? And she's gonna like look back to the group and raise her voice. Do we just want to rest here? Kind of lick our wounds?
At least for a bit,
An
yeah. I'm gonna carry Grunky over to that direction.
Yeah.
hour would be good at least.
Okay.
Short range.
Yeah, short rest. Everybody loves a short rest.
All right. So, eventually, as some of you kind of taking your short rest, exploring around the rest of the camp here, double checking over to see how the battle's going. Eventually, with no signals nor war horns to coordinate their strategies, the remaining goblinoids and ogres are routed entirely.
Yeah.
Begin fleeing back through the forests into the mountain passes, and presumably back into the valley, the Matignon Canyon, in numbers at a mere fraction of what they once had. This may have been the largest ever attack on Druvenholm since the time of the Greenskin Wars. Now, tail between their legs, it is unlikely they'll return anytime soon.
Yay! We did it.
Great. So,
Okay, go ahead and roll your hit points. Did you want to investigate that shield and that flail?
I would.
Get Sal identifying it.
Alright. And you can
I mean, I was asking if Sal wanted to. That wasn't me telling people what to do.
you
I
are
recognize
you are our identify lackey.
Give me the magic.
I am definitely going to ritual cast because I got a single spell slot left.
Okay. So, the shield, it is massive. It is very thick. You can see a number of what looks like nine gnarled-looking spikes protruding from this massive, clearly what looks like a tower shield. This is called a battering shield. While holding this dark iron tower shield, you gain a +1 bonus to AC. This bonus is in addition to the shield's normal bonus to AC. Additionally, this shield has 3 charges, and it regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. If you are holding the shield and push a creature within your reach at least 5 feet away, you can expend 1 charge to push that creature an additional 10 feet, you can expend 1 charge to push that creature an additional 10 feet, deal piercing damage to it equal to 1d6 plus your strength modifier, or both.
wait, well, that's weird. Okay.
the flail.
Very cool.
It's one of my favorite shields from WoW.
It really is.
The flail is called a Dwarf Bane flail.
Oh, how dare they?
We should give it to Tarngrim.
Oh god.
I mean, if he gets
for
possessed by
when
the
you
cannibal
really
king,
got
it
a
might
grudge
be.
that you need to rub out.
You gain a +2 bonus to attacks to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. When you hit with when you hit with a melee attack using this weapon, it deals an extra 1d8 bludgeoning damage if the target is a dwarf or a deep dwarf.
Oh,
Ooh.
I mean,
And with that, you gain a little bit of extra lore with it. This is a Dwarf Bane weaponry. It's a cruel irony in response to the Greenskin Wars. Dwarf Bane weaponry is forged under the command and watchful eyes of the Goblin King, with the iron of dwarven blood from captured dwarven sacrifices, and imbued with foul, hateful magic, all to gain his approval. Blood for blood, and an eye for an eye.
shame about his baby face.
Actually, still a pretty strong weapon, considering that it's a +2 weapon.
+2 weapons aren't anything to sneeze at.
Yep.
I do
Fuck
like
that.
the irony that it needs to be a goblinoid, meaning only Grunker can attune to it.
That's true.
Yep.
That's true.
There's
It
a
is- it
slight
is.
problem.
Gonna get
Arngrim's got
destroyed.
the bug eyes on seeing.
Then again,
Oh,
Sao is gonna mention that this to, the group. The fact that this is a Dwarf Bane.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
that'll be useful in very specific situations, but so gonna look to Arngrim. I figure it's down to you what you want. I guess, considering
Do you mind if I see that for a moment?
Oh, there we go.
Sure, but
We're about to see it
you-
leave.
You do know what this is, right?
Yes.
Alright?
I have a feeling we're not gonna see it much longer.
Probably not. No.
And Sao will hand over the Dwarf Bane flail to Arngrim.
I do grab it.
You feel as though
Ow,
you've just
ow.
been burned.
Ow, ow, ah, ah. Bag of holding. Ah.
That is some dark magic.
You can see the look in Sao's eyes. It just reads as, I told you so.
No, I already knew it would happen. Okay. Alright, do we have everything we need here?
Yeah, I think so.
Seems like it.
I'm gonna waddle myself back over to the steam hammer. And I'm gonna drag this fucking oaf with me.
Alright.
One hand he's got the jaw, fucking hands looped through the jaw holding the skull of Gremlin. The other one he's dragging it by the collar of his plate.
You know, it probably would have been easier if you had kept his head attached before you did this.
Oh, it definitely would have. But it wouldn't have been as satisfying.
I mean, the satisfaction would have come later. You know, never mind. Do you need help?
No, I understand. I understand. I'll be honest with you, I was very hurt and tired and wasn't thinking the best.
Well, that's
And I just really wanted to see this fucker without his head.
That is perfectly okay. If you need help dragging him, I'm happy to help.
You know what? He just lets go. And instead holds up a foot for you to grab. I will swallow me pride and say thank you.
Okay. And she's going to, I guess. Is he Ava? Yeah. Okay. She's gonna just grab a leg and start dragging him.
All right.
She doesn't care about lifting him off the ground.
Yeah.
She's also though gonna look and see Grunka hobbling and Willem kind of carrying Grunka. Just be like, do you need carrying too?
No?
Okay.
I
Keep
think
up.
he's good now.
Oh no, he's still double exhausted.
Yeah.
That was a short rest.
That was for Grunky Pride.
All right. But yeah, we'll still say that's like, okay, keep up.
Yeah. Hurry.
So, as you all eventually sort of make your way down the mountain one by one. Where is it? There it is. You see, so you sort of make your way down the mountain. The overcast clouds overhead, sort of choking the sun from the sky.
Howdy.
You descend the trail down towards the steam hammer. In the distance, you see looks like clusters of blood and bodies.
If I don't know if you're pausing for on purpose, but
I
this-
was just
that's fine. Like Liska is saying, like once they get back into survey the battlefield, then it's kind of over.
Mhm.
She's likely going to be saying the quote-unquote cleanup crew.
Yeah, hold on. As you reach kind of the foot of the trail down towards the steam hammer, you see these clusters of blood and bodies. Some are torn in half, viscera splattering the golden grass in long red trails, and there's a distinct trail of combat that leads to the very base of the trail near the steam tank, which seems to end in a large circle of dead and dismembered hobgoblins. In the centre of this, you can see the large figure of the dire bear, bloodied,
Yeah, good boy.
beaten, pin-cushioned with arrows and javelins.
Oh.
And it's collapsed in the grass. Bloodied, breathing, but clearly on the last threads of life.
Hey, Grunks, do you think you can do something about that?
Oh, okay.
With a large body,
Just help him over there.
the large body kind of swelling and falling, swelling and falling with each ragged breath.
I just kind of like put him a bit on the side, like, yeah, I know.
He's just
Been there,
plopping down
been
next to the bear.
Okay, let's see. Oh, see what we can do here, big guy.
Yeah, Liska's going to be standing over them, watching.
Yeah, okay, here you go. You healed for 20.
The voice crack.
Oh boy.
20.
deploying portable medic.
Oh.
Being how massive this bear is comparative to you, Grunker, it doesn't do much, but
Stabilize.
he is still breathing.
It's good.
He was on the cusp of giving out.
Okay. No, yeah, so we're just gonna look at Liska and it's gonna look like a little bit to the side of Liska. It's gonna be okay, it's okay. I have put a lot of stuff in him.
You see, you spend the time sort of trying to delicately kind of pluck out the arrows, holding the wounds, patching them up.
I put so much morphine in this bad boy.
Oh yeah.
This bad boy can hold so much morphine.
Yeah, I put so much morphine in this bad boy. He's on the moon. One of the moons. It's 2 moons.
How many moons are there?
2.
5.
Two. Yeah,
That's not even double vision. That's like 2.5 vision.
Yeah, there's 2 moons. The mother and the matron. The mother it's the large white moon. The matron is the smaller red moon. But regardless,
Sorry, it's a random bout of curiosity.
Drunker, how many moons are in the sky? 5? It's fine.
How many moons am I holding up?
so
It's fine.
you
He's fine. It's within margins.
eventually sort of see the massive dire bear to its feet. He's gonna need some time to heal naturally.
Yeah, we got a lot done.
Liska, like when he's on his feet, Liska's gonna kind of come up, give him like a scritch underneath his chin, and then just kind of like give him a very, a very light headbutt, just like, you know, head to head, and just be like, "You did well, brother. You did well, brother." Like,
Bear butts your head in response, and sort of sits down in the golden grass. Doesn't look like it's ready to leave just yet, not unless there's still some healing that needs to be done.
But yeah, Liska is going. So is he? Okay, Liska is going to kind of give a pat. She's also going to, because she can. She doesn't have much, but she is going to do her part, and she is going to pull out a greater healing potion, and then like pop the top, and just be like, "Here," and she's going to like tip it up into his maw.
Almost like nursing a bear cub with like a bottle of milk. You will see this sight. The dire bear just guzzles it down happily. It just slushes of ruby red liquid sort of draining into its fur. It just finishes off completely.
Yeah, you're cool. She gives him a belly rub. Belly pets.
There you go. 17 plus a few.
That was a really good roll.
Yeah. You watch as you watch as all of the small wounds begin to start healing up, leaving scabbed over scars. Again, some natural healing that needs to take place here.
Yeah.
But you've successfully rescued this dire bear from the edge of death.
Hooray! Now it's even more in your debt.
I shall call him Stinky Too.
No.
Oh. Why not?
Because.
Oh, okay.
Just Grunky, you deliver it.
What?
So you make your way over to the battlefield. The dire bear's following distantly in tow.
Liska's going to just be walking, looking, surveying the battlefield.
You approach, you approach what's left of the battlefield. Craters from boulder impacts mar this once beautiful golden valley. The storm clouds have gathered, draping the skies with an overcast shadow. Rain begins to fall. Most importantly, you can now see it is littered with the dead and the fallen. Both of Grimlim's forces and Druvenholm's. It's here that the impact of this attack strikes some of you the most. While victory was seized this day, it was a Pyrrhic one. and came at a heavy cost. It's clear to see that most of both sides were devastated in this battle. And as you're making your way through this battlefield, you see soldiers in the middle of the rain, knelt over their fallen brothers, their fallen sisters. Some are hugging and weeping over limp bodies. You hear one Iron Guard fling off his helmet and roar in anguish to the sky as he finds, presumably, his son amidst a pile of slain goblin bodies. What you only previously saw as faceless Iron Guard, you now see them as people, with their own lives, their own stories, their own relationships, families and bonds, now devastated by loss. Iska, you're familiar with such a sight. For all the talk of glorious battle by some, you've seen war for what it truly is. These are often the horrid aftermaths, and it never gets easier to take in.
Nope, you just get used to not showing it. But Liska, like, while they are kind of walking back towards the Citadel, she'll see this and she'll just kind of casually look over to the group who this is probably their first, like, actual witness to real warfare. And she just kind of, like, casually waves, like, almost makes it not worth it.
No, it ever is. But it happens anyway.
Is there a cleanup crew going around right now?
You can see a number of people taking in bodies. Goblins, dwarves alike. The goblins are being piled into bodies, and you can see some of them are, presumably in preparation for being unceremoniously burned.
Good. Sorry, I was just remarking on that it was good that they're being.
You can see the fallen, the Iron Guard, the dwarves, are being taken into the courtyard.
Okay. Liska's going to kind of, like, rush into the groups like, y'all go ahead. I'm going to help you for a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna help too. I have a favor. Can you go ahead?
Sarah just nods a bit and comments under her breath. This is way different than the books mentioned.
You're very faint, Ducky.
That was the
You're away
idea.
from the mic, I'm guessing.
Well, I mean, no,
Well,
he's been distant.
yeah.
Time.
Sal purposely muttered under her breath for that. I mean, I picked it up if y'all didn't.
Mhm.
Yeah, I need to turn
Yeah,
Ducko
I
on
did.
last time. Anyway,
There's
but-
a nod from Arngrim. Not every story tells you the grim aftermath. It's not his. And as he poignantly looks to Liska, heroic.
Liska, like, she's probably already wandered off like a little ways. You see she has her sword out, and she is
Finishing.
going through and systematically, like, coup de grace and basically making sure the goblins are dead.
Mm-hmm.
checking to see if the dwarves are still alive, all that stuff, like if they can be saved
Yeah.
and whatnot. She's a very solitary figure amidst the battlefield.
Yeah.
Eventually, she sort of makes her way off to the other side of the battlefield, casually sort of impaling the odd goblin and signalling over the cleanup crew to rescue the injured.
Arngrim's gonna do something.
Gasp.
Everybody's big gasp as everybody's gathering things together. He's gonna hop up on top of his tank so people have a good visage to him, and realizing a gauntlet even then won't do much, he's gonna take out the flail and hold it up and shout out to all those cleaning up around to look here at me, lads. It has been a hard-won battle, and at a great cost. But this is why we fight. Look at what they've made. Out of the blood of our fallen and taken. We cannot let this pass. We cannot let this grief seize us. I will shepherd what's left here and help the souls not fall to such a fate as this cursed black iron. If you will aid me, group these green skins together and I will make every fatherless son, every dad now without his little daughter, a weapon to repel them. The green kind shall never take this hold again. I will forge you grudge steel, so we may never forget these lost kin. Will you aid me?
One grief-stricken father, an iron guard without his helmet, you can see now, no longer faced us. These are dwarves with their own lives and their own losses. I will. You can see tears down his face, messed with the rain. Long hair sort of caked over one side of his face with blood. A dwarven woman, stands up in iron guard armour. I will. More and more dwarves. I will. I will. A small crowd begins to form, and while others are still more focused on their grief, a small group begins to gather at your feet.
There we go, boys. Good. There will be no pyres. Not yet. As my hand burns touching this cursed metal, we'll use them. We'll make metal far superior. And they'll be in your hands.
The faint black mist burning from your hand in the rain. You take 2 points of necrotic damage doing so, but you grin and bear it. And I will give you so many points of inspiration for that.
Hey. Yeah, boy. So as he stows it back away to all the others, he's gonna take out his harp. He's gonna think of his old friend who taught him how to play this in the tunnels of his home. And with a little nod, just pop this in the party chat. That's what I assume it might be. Something like one of these boys. He'll play a little funeral song. Something for Mortem's times. to shepherd the dead off and to whatever sort of life awaits them after the filament. Until we meet again.
1 second, just gonna get the cat out. This is not a good time.
Trying so hard not to make cat jokes.
It's Battlefield cat.
It's a very serious moment.
Yes.
It's not tuned correctly.
Shit, Soda didn't tell me how to tune it.
Does anyone know how to tune this thing? I have a very important song.
Okay, right.
This one's called Druvenwall.
Damn it, I was gonna make a Freebird joke being
Anyway,
up.
anyway. So, as the surviving dwarves gather the goblinoid dead, place them into a single pile before the steam hammer. Elsewhere across the battlefield, Liska, you begin to search the northern parts of the battlefield for your men and women. Gathering the Lakesvale militia of archers and warriors. Many of the men have fallen. And you see them among the fallen wargs and goblin riders, amidst legions of fallen goblin warriors who have been cut down and dismembered. Among the fallen, you see red tabards emblazoned with the iconic cod. You also see the blue tabards emblazoned with the imagery of salmon. Among a hail of arrows, you see a large pile of hobgoblin corpses among several bodies of Helmsworth warriors. One of them is beaten and bloodied, tears streaming down his eyes as he's stooped over and cradling one fallen warrior, surrounded by a number of beheaded goblins. These two soldiers, their gauntleted hands are clasped together as this fallen warrior is pin-cushioned with arrows, still breathing slightly, looking up to his friend. There you see, bleeding out in the arms of his friend, Kingsley. The colour drained from his face as he coughs up a gout of blood.
We're just gonna try and like waddle over there, like, oh, ooh, my leg, oh.
Was Grunka with Liska? Liska
No,
went off by herself.
Oh, you went on by yourself? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the whole point
went by herself.
Well, hope you had a healing kit.
There's
Liska's going to walk over and just kind of put a hand on the back of Kingsley's battle buddy. Probably Harvey, who knows? And kind of kneels down beside him. And
did we wait?
we did. We did. All of you fought very bravely today. You did well.
John, I saw it this time.
That's true. You held on to it very well. And
Reaches over, grabs your larger hand. And his head lolls to the side. And he looks past you and stops moving.
it's at this point, like Liska is, she's an officer. She knows how to keep a very stoic, straight face. But she's also very cognizant of how lucky it is that it's raining right now. So, she is going to, like, reach forward, close his eyes, and she's going to look to, I'm guessing,
You know him as Harvey. He was a dear friend of Bingsley.
and she is going to look to him, like, pat him on the back and say, all of you made me proud today.
Harvey gives a silent and solemn nod. You can also see very clearly tears streaming down his face caked in blood. You know, he killed about 5 of them before he went down himself.
He did very well. It's enough to make him a hero to sing songs about.
I should.
Will you do that for him, Harvey?
I will. I'll let his mother and little brother know.
Now, can you help me gather them up?
Give them and together we gradually retrieve the dead and bring them into the courtyard. Orgrim, you're spending your time here gathering the rest of the goblins, placing them into a pile where you can readily access them. And you do whatever it is you want to do.
So he's trying to get basically as many goblins as he can. Like, if he's able to, he would say, put them all in one pile. None of these little piles. Get them in one pile. We'll burn them afterwards, but I have to do it right. And as the men go and start putting them in this pile, he's going to go around with his heel in the dirt, and he's going to start carving out a circle all around it. And he's going to make little runes in the blood-caked soil. And with a very solemn face, as he goes and he finishes these inscriptions, he's going to get his anvil out from the steam tank, and he's going to plop it down in front of it. He's going to sit down and begin a ritual. It starts off with a prayer, and not so much to be a part of it, but as a motivation. He sets the cursed flail to the side to remind him. And as he does that prayer, again, as anyone who's witnessed his, blessing of the forge, spirits come out. They start moving and shifting bodies. They begin to help him as, once again, the corpses begin to slightly pale and wither as he hammers upon his anvil. With each strike, a small bead of iron coalescing as it begins to grow and grow. And I do need to ask about roughly how many felled goblins are we able to gather?
Probably enough. Definitely enough for some sort of item, I would say.
Alright.
Just to keep this simple.
Okay. So out of this, as he begins forging it, and he takes the small bead that was already hanging from his symbol, he adds to it, begins to form a large ingot. It is a deep blackish red. Tiny bits of rust already forming on the slight corners. Pure iron. Is with a very solemn face, for what I assume to be the first time in potentially ages. He has, after a war, forged the first grudge steel ingot.
Tales woven about the Greenskin Wars. Near the end of the wars, when the goblin hordes battered against the doors of Dune Hollow, when many goblins fell into the lava pits of the Duneheart Forge, only then was grudge steel able to be formed. But now, after centuries, a new form of grudge steel emerges, wrought from the very blood of Goblin King itself. Some dwarfs look on in amazement. Some in wonder. Others in curiosity. As you hold aloft a single grudge steel bar.
This will have your bones. As he turns to the decapitated head of Gremlin. And from it I'll make the finest metal there is. Wreathed with magic. And oaths from the ages. And with it I'm going to kill every last greenskin on this continent.
You look on at this, villain. What's your reaction?
Admittedly, while this is a rather... It draws attention, needless to say. What with the bravado of the statements made and the oddity of the scene at large. Venom's attention, however, is elsewhere, as he is currently sort of a fair distance away. His focus is more on Liska and the ongoing actions at this moment. Taking in a very sort of silent... The role of a silent observer. There's part of this that he knew he was going to have to see, but more so everything he needed to see. And he will be so for a time, and if anyone calls for aid, he will oblige, but for the meantime he's just taking it all in, taking the full scope of what it means to be at war. And the possibilities of such things in the future.
Okay. So, let's see. Bodies of the fallen are gradually gathered, one by one, over the next few hours as the day moves into noon. The rain gradually ceases. Though the clouds remain overcast and grey, the dead are moved into the main courtyard, where ritual pyres are made for these honoured dead. Argrim and the war priests giving the appropriate prayers, the send-offs. A grieving and solemn silence permeates the atmosphere, as recovery efforts are being made to bring in the injured and the broken, while those of the able-bodied survivors man the walls to watch for any return of Grimland's forces, as unlikely as that may be at this point in time. But this is the lot of Druvenholm. Loss and perseverance in times of hardship. But they will always rebuild. Khazad stands among processions. Victory was won here this day, but not without cost. This is the price we pay as the bastions of Mayland to keep these lands free. And freedom is not taken without blood. Many good men and women died here today. And their names, Mortrim willing, shall be engraved upon the very walls of this glorious town, never to be forgotten. Forevermore, we will give thanks to the men and women who fell upon these golden fields, those who faced the green tide and did not return, so that we may continue on in their name. Let us give thanks and grieve to them and their families. Let us rebuild. And as the processions come to a close, pyres emitting nothing but ashes, which are gathered up in small boxes and urns. And eventually the remainder of the forces are left outside in the courtyard to stand guard in the meantime, while the injured are brought inside Druvenholm.
Question. How many of Liska's forces survived?
Approximately half.
Half of each? Or...
Half in total.
Okay.
Half of each is still half.
True, but that means, well, that implies that some battle buddies might have made it through. I'm sure some did, but okay. So the rain stopped and the pyres are going where they were burned and whatnot.
Pyres are eventually burned to ashes, and the ashes are gathered up in urns. Appropriate burial rites are being made.
Okay. I imagine Liska, along with her men, would have set them kind of to the side.
Yeah.
And so, when all is kind of said and done and the pyre is burned down, Liska's going to kind of gather her men in front of, like the smoldering ashes, and she's just kind of stand there, looking around at the pyre behind her, at the big one with the dwarves, and while kind of looking off, she's. I have not much to say. There is little that can be said that would alleviate your pain or stop the agony in your breast. I tried my best to protect you. I did what I can to shelter you from these wounds of body and heart. Our world is one of heat, blood, and iron. I was molded by it into what I am today. A warrior. A soldier. Though it pains me to think that all of you are now forever marked by its brand, I am honored to consider you my brothers. Forever bound by blood and ash. And she's going to reach down, grab a handful of, ash from the pyre, get a dagger out, cut her hand, and then walk forward and clasp the, warrior forearm clasp her men one by one.
You watch as one soldier steps forward. A extremely little archer clasps a dagger at his side, takes some of the ash, cuts his palm, and follows your lead. The Helmsworth warrior does the same. It's in this moment that you see many of them come forward and do the same. It's no longer are they just Helmsworth or Streamweaver. They are soldiers. Men united in battle. Under your command. And the amount of respect they now seem to have for you is magnified tenfold. Some of them choke back their tears, having lost friends, some losing brothers, others losing sisters. Perhaps this is a beginning of something new.
This is going to kind of, with admiration, give kind of like a stoic nod when she sees that they're all united, unified, no longer two factions, but now part of a whole. And while she's glad that her plan worked, she is, as she said, very sad that this had to happen for you too. So, she's going to give a nod and kind of drawing herself up. She's gonna bark out in her, her commander voice. It's like, no, everybody inside. I want nursing wounds, rest, maybe some alcohol.
Everyone, in complete unison, looks up to you, hands over their chests, and salutes with a unified, "Yes, ma'am!"
That's good. Nods and turns, walks in and leads her men inside.
So Ian, you're a military woman. How does Soyun react to this?
This is where the difference between Liska and Sayun really steps into character. As most and foremost, Sao's main experience with large-scale battle had been from books, map readings, and strategic reports. This is her first aftermath of actual warfare. The Deep Dwarf invasion thing was mostly a skirmish on her part. This was different. She had actual action and stake within this, and now she looks upon what is left. She's not heartbroken, but some part of her can feel it, the pain that everybody else is going through. She's not happy. To her, there is no victory in this. At least not a sweet one.
You look upon the pies. The distant sounds of crows and ravens. It's also in that moment that something catches your eye near one of the pies. A crow sitting by one of the pies. You get a strange feeling about it, and as you look closer, you see a very familiar sight. No eyes. Crow has no eyes. And as you both meet each other's gaze, you watch as the crow flutters off into the distance.
Sao will take note of this, but in the moment she doesn't do anything. But there is part of her that's wondering, why is it here?
Rest of you heading inside Druvenholm?
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you joining them?
Yeah, but perhaps a bit later.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. So, as you all approach, the gates of Druvenholm, a number of armed guards who have survived, who were seeing the lockdown of the stronghold. It seems as though the general idea here. During the battle, none may leave, nor may anyone enter except those participating in the battle. And eventually, as everyone kind of brings their injured inside, the king speaks out loud to the guards at the door in Dwarvish. And you're all shown inside past a large series of ornate stone pillars. You can see the injured and the bleeding have been kind of set to the side as others are tending to their wounds, war priests especially. And as you make your way inside, you hear some sort of giving prayers to their ancestors, and of course the first ancestor god, Dune. Journeying through the winding halls of the entryway, you emerge into a great cavernous interior. A massive chasm sculpted and whittled over centuries into a large, sprawling subterranean town. The first thing you notice is the heat. Being so close to the whip of fire, its most intense points of volcanic activity likely makes the air here so hot and dry. Homesteads and abodes are carved high up into the stone and stacked upon one another. You see great forge-like structures are peppered throughout, which pour these great falls of molten metals into massive stone receptacles. Though it looks like for the meantime these have been shut down for the purposes of the battle. Everywhere you look, upon every building, there's some element of runecraft, be it for simple decoration or for function, particularly upon the forge works dotted around the town. You also notice that very much like a town so close to a great body of water, the settlement is striated with many crisscrossings of canals, but not of water. This is of molten magma, likely an element used for forging.
And central heating.
And that too. To you, Arngrim, with I'll say with a passive religion of 14, there's an element of fire worship here. You've certainly heard of Druvenholm's reverence of the forge, and that the element of fire is an aspect that the element of fire is also an aspect of that. Fire worship here seems to be seen as this complementary to the worship of Doom. You can also see Iron Guard kind of ferrying the townspeople up from presumably the entrances to the mountain pass deep beneath the town, re-emerging out of the darkness into the blazing orange light of the town here.
What would it take to seek an audience with the king?
The king has been sort of about 100 feet off, making his way back into Druvenholm with the rest of the surviving Iron Guard. He's currently tending to the sort of reunification of families here, breaking the news to some families whose partners were lost in the battle. And while he is a veteran of battle himself, you can see at this point he seems to definitely be a man of the people.
The good king. Well, I will, while I wait for him, I'll set up my alchemy jug, and I'll start passing out free drinks to the soldiers and the townsfolk alike. Everybody gets some beer. And I'll simply wait.
Yeah, you're gonna need it. You see, as families are being brought the news, tears are, of course, natural. Immediate grieving takes place as some of the families lost in this battle. Some are more stoic than others. Clearly, they've imagined this is probably going to be coming sooner or later because of the nature of the people of Druvenholm, having seen many battles in their time. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I mean, Liska's going to. Let's see. This is like still the night of the battle.
This is this is the afternoon of the battle now. The battle took place in the very early hours of the morning, like 6, 7ish.
Yeah. Ass crack o'clock.
Literally.
Yeah. Liska, yeah, she's going to be like watching very motherly her men get drunk and forget their woes. And then once they're sufficiently sloshed, she's going to kind of sneak out and find the rest of the group, and also be like, "Hey, we need to get the waypoint here."
Yeah.
You know, the special thing being part of the Malin Council.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt that or anything, but sorry, getting my words twisted. How long does Liska spend like watching her boys?
Oh, probably. Geez, probably a while. Maybe. Probably an hour or two. Probably closer to 2.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this that doesn't make it weird. Vellum has been sort of not lurking, but sort of following on Liska's path, if that makes sense. Like he's been observing from a distance, but when it comes to like, she seems in a bit of a better position to approach, what with her watching her boys and having to sit down and all that business. So at some point during that stretch of time where she's idle, quote unquote, Vellum will just casually sidle up. Assumedly, there's probably some sort of stool next to her or something like that.
Yeah,
Probably.
there's a oh, you're in the bar. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, where
else are you gonna get drunk?
Oh,
I know it's closed, but I'm sure.
Trying to think up of a name of a bar on the flight. Okay.
Don't worry about the name. We can worry about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll just grab a stool, scoot up to her, sit down. You dealt with this sort of stuff a lot?
He's gonna turn, look down at Vellum. Like the casual grin that was on her face as she was watching her guys kind of fades and just like, yes, more than you can probably imagine.
As Liska turns to look, he's not really looking at her, but more like either off to the distance or like maybe also watching the boys. I'm going to keep calling them the boys because they're the boys. But his attention isn't directed at her while he's talking as he would normally be one to do. It's hard to think that this all happened in a day.
War is... It can be prolonged, and it can also be violently short. Both are not good, but we had the latter today.
Well, I suppose the speed doesn't really matter. It's the losses.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hear a lot of military shit growing up, either from my grandfather. And you can tell as he says that there's like the visceral sort of venomous connotation to it. Or my father. They both used to go on about the same sort of shit about war. It made it sound so glorious, but obviously I wasn't the sort to buy into that. And one of the things they always used to say was that you can tell the measure of a man by how he is in war, how he fights, what he does, reaction to everything, stuff like that. But back in Dune Hollow, in the underground, and out there today, I can honestly say I don't believe any of that. I don't buy into that shit. But what I do know is you can definitely tell the measure of a person by what happens after the war's over. And there'll be, for the first time, sort of a look of respectful, but also like sort of somber respect is the best way to put it towards this guy. And I apologize in advance. You're going to hear a lot of a dog running around in the background.
That's fine. Liska is just, kind of listening along, and when he's done, she gives kind of a nod. She's still not looking at him yet, but she thinks for a moment and says, "People talk of glory very frequently. It makes people... It is a very sweet lie that you tell foot soldiers before you send them off to their deaths. But glory tends to be had by those that stay back and watch the battle from afar. Every so often you get people who are lucky," she kind of like motions to herself, "who can rise above and get chosen. But I never seem to tell you what the glory costs, the lives it costs, the family, the smiles, the laughter, the memories. All for a cost of glory."
I always had a feeling. Sorry, go on.
No, it's fine. And she's gonna look at Vellum. It's like, I might be good at it, but it's not necessarily something to be proud of.
I always had a feeling. I know enough about people to know as they feel when you talk. Hearing those bastards talk about war and all its glory, I could tell they care about what it cost. They had their station and status. I suppose, even though I didn't know at the time, part of me knew their words just felt like poison. It is good to meet a real soldier. Finally. And there'll be a small smile in regards to Liska.
Well, I'm happy I did not disappoint.
No, you haven't. And if I can be honest, Liska, I've been trying to get a read on you for some time, and not for anything nasty. I don't doubt your skills. Your skills are proven, and I know you can do well to keep us alive. At least to the best of your abilities, with all the shit we've gone up against. But you're a very guarded woman, so I didn't know you as a person just yet. So, seeing you out there, tending to your lads, I wasn't that close, but I could tell how much it ate you. That you care. That you weren't just a soldier, you were a person. And I could feel a little, well, not even a little. I could feel a lot better putting my life in your hands. Because I hope you, in some small way, trust me to take care of yours.
Liska's gonna smile, kind of pat a hand on Willem's shoulder, and just kind of like give it a squeeze. I'm happy to have you watching my back. Even in moments where things get a little crazy. It's always good to know that you have someone who cares more for your life than hollow victories.
I'll be honest, another day for honesty it seems. But I don't know how things are gonna go moving forward. I know I'm a foreigner, but even I can tell that everything that's been going on lately, I feel like that's not normal. The shit with the underground demons, not demons, fiends in towns, and now war on the southern front. This doesn't feel normal, and I've got a bad feeling that things are gonna get worse, and hopefully over time we'll have you with us for the better and the worse. And he will sort of, because obviously size difference, he's gonna give more of a pat to, like, not her ribs, but, you know, like this, her side, because that's all he can reach. In a sort of response to her pat.
I think sitting down, he might be able to reach her shoulder.
Yeah, but it's a stretch. He'd have to be standing. He's sitting.
Yeah, she like gives a chuckle. It's like, well, I definitely think that. I don't plan on dying anytime soon. Let's just say that. And, otherwise, I feel like we will. I don't listen to stories all that often, but it always seems like not necessarily that the world is going wrong as much as it's just that the heroes always seem to be the ones that find it. Not to say that we're heroes. Some might. And he kind of like, she motions to her men. But
you see, as you look over to some of your men, while some are sort of nursing their sorrows in their drinks, a couple of them raise their steins to you. Hey! Clearly very sloshed.
Nice. Liska is going to take a mental note of those that seem a little bit more despondent and a little bit more like focusing inward. But she like raises up her drink and in kind of responds like, "Oh, to the men of," and I'm sorry, but my own memory is kind of shit right now.
Legs fail?
Legs fail. Yeah.
There you go.
That one.
Yeah. To the men of Lengthsvale, heroes of the Battle of Druvenholm.
Your legs fail! They'll kind of clink their steins together. Some of them drink in the memory of some of their fallen compatriots, some of their fallen brothers. Names are spouted out. They all just chug at once.
Yeah, Liska just kind of like holds a drink, kind of threw it out of her mouth. To Velum's like, they are very, very drunk.
Yeah, I noticed. Look, I know you don't plan on dying anytime soon, and I definitely hope you don't, but you had your own life before us troublemakers showed up, and Well, for what it's worth, I'm glad you're sticking with us.
Well, that life was a very... What's the word? And she, like, kind of offhandedly mentions something. She's trying to think, because she's a little buzzed. She, like, Vellum, since he can hear and speak demonic, like, hears her say something basically to the equivalent of nomadic. She's like, my life was very, and then she's like, it mutters in demonic. Nomadic? How do you say that in trade tongue?
He's going to remark in demonic. Do not worry about it.
Oh, I forgot that you can speak demonic.
Not very well, I'm afraid.
Well, for what it's worth, you have most of it down, except perhaps your pronunciation is a little weird. You have an accent.
Well, I mean, first language is Orcish, and then I got trade tongue. Kind of hard to shift.
Your first language was Orcish?
Yeah. Mother was more of the nurturing sort than my father, as you no doubt guessed. So while he was off doing whatever, she was teaching me everything she knew, and, well, it was her language, so now it's mine.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize your mother was Orcish. And she kind of like has like a questioning look. Like, is your mother Orcish? Half Orc-ish? Is there such a thing as a half Orc?
Half Orcish, yeah. But, you know, Orcish language, heritage, all that business.
Gotcha. Right. Well, they are sufficiently drunk in order to pass out not far from here, possibly at the tables. Let me just check on a few of them, and then I'll meet you outside, okay? We need to find the rest of the group.
No rush. I'll be here to head off with you.
Okay. Liska just, in one gulp, downs the rest of her drink, sets it down, and then she's going to walk over to those men that she marked were focusing a bit too inward. And she's going to just kind of casually walk up to them, kneel down so she's still taller than they are while they're sitting. But kind of put an arm around them, kind of lean in, and basically, like, she understands that people process grief differently, and she's basically going to remark on that, but she's also going to say, don't focus too inward, don't focus too much on the grief inside. Look around to those that survive, your friends and loved ones that are around you still, and use them to help immortalize and remember those that have been lost. Because, you know, she's seen PTSD. She knows what it does to people.
Oh, yeah.
Sneaks up on you.
Yeah, so she basically wants to try to get her men through as unbroken as possible.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay, Liska's not good at this. Okay. Alright. Persuasion with advantage. Oh, yeah. -1. Oh, hey. Double 14s, 13.
Double
Well, I mean,
13s.
Even Stevens.
It wasn't a high DC by any means. You've already lowered that DC enough with that inspirational speech outside. Throughout the next hour, you begin to console your men and keep their spirits up. And eventually, many of them do turn towards the group that is having a better time than they are. They're sort of gathered within this group of we can only assume, you know, a soldierly brotherhood in a way.
Yeah, that is something that Liska actually will kind of make a point to say in her little asides, is that, like, you have a family now. those who have gone through the exact same thing. And she kind of like touches the hand that had been cut to theirs to be like, we're in this together. And she's going to say, if you ever need to talk or do something, come find me, okay? And so once she's kind of has done what she can for her men, she's going to kind of go to the barkeep and just be like, make sure that they, well, if they don't get up to their rooms, just make sure they're not disturbed.
You see, the barkeep himself is, as you've been doing this, barkeep himself has just sort of arrived back from the mountain pass underground with the rest of the civilian population, and he's just kind of setting up shop again. You can see the worn, weathered face of a barkeep who has seen this quite a number of times in his life. And this is almost like a nonchalant way of looking at this, though probably doesn't realise the scale of the battle that just took place outside. And he's kind of, as he's wiping the front counter, he's just, right, will do.
That's good. Gives a nod, heads out to join Vellum, or if he's still in, kind of.
Yeah, he's waiting for the exit.
Yeah, and as you're heading out, Liska, Vellum, you feel something thump against your back and something wrap around your waist. There you are!
Ah, there you are, Vaddy.
You survived!
Sort of like, he goes to try and hug, but she's like on his back. It's more like a wiggle.
Yeah.
You doing alright?
Uh-huh. Are you doing alright?
Little beaten up, but we're all back and all right. You don't have to worry.
Good. Vladimir saw the rest of the soldiers coming. What happened out there?
There's like a pause as he's trying to think of the right words until he finally just comes out with, War happened, Vladimir. And it's better that you don't know the rest. He's going to try and sort of put her in a... This is the second time he's piggybacked today, but since she's back there, you know... Going to try and put her in piggyback and then sort of look to Liska. Ready to go meet the others?
Let's check in.
Alright, so, Gronka, Armgrim, and Sayun. What are you lot doing? Where are you? Are you all muted?
No, I'm thinking.
I was.
There you go.
Do you want to go since you haven't gotten to do a lot? Do you want to go first, Ducky? Or are you still thinking?
Give me a hot moment.
Okay. Question on that. Would you like me to involve you with what I was thinking on to sort of maybe jumpstart something?
Sure.
Okay. So Arngrim's been passing out drinks out of his alchemy jug. Just giving, you know, maybe those who now don't have a breadwinner in the family, who might not be able to afford, you know, drinks so well, he's giving it to everybody to make sure everybody gets a chance to raise a glass to remember the fallen, while, you know, trying to do his best to cheer folks up in his own way, in the same way that the king is. When he sees that the king is at a lull, or is taking a slight break, he's going to look about and I suppose see Sao Yun nearby, perhaps having gotten a drink of her own, because he definitely would offer one. Turn of, hey, I'm gonna go talk to the king. Do you want to come along? we might be able to tell him about our ideas. Well, maybe knowing you've got some inspiration from the candeliers and the mortar thing we were trying to discuss. He might be interested.
Now takes a sip of her drink before nodding. That might be a good idea.
You can see the king is off to the side as he's taking a break from the rest of the civilian populace, talking with Queen Mara. You can see the large mount, Queen Mara's large kind of golden eagle mount behind her. And she's just kind of fixing her up. She bandaging a rather nasty looking wound on one of the foreclaws.
Oof. Not so good. Well, am I interrupting here?
King Kaza looks over to you. No. I'm just saying thanks to the Queen here for honouring her oath. So at that point, Queen Mara says, once an oath is made, it is never broken. Aye.
Great respect for that.
So, Angrim, what do you wish to talk about?
Well, first things first, as is right. He's gonna set his shield down and reach into his bag of calding, and he's gonna pull out the head, place it on the shield, and then lift the shield up towards the king. This is rightly yours.
There's a grimace from the king as he looks into the eyes of the headless, the head of Wald Grimlim. Not of any sense of disgust, you go, but rather,
Who he is.
yeah, hate and disgust for this individual who's caused so much pain. He watches a very big, meaty, kind of pockmarked hand comes down, grasps the top of the head, raises it. I shall reserve the tallest pike I can find in the courtyard for this. Send a message to the greenskins.
We're looking to send a message as well.
Aye.
There is one more unsavory factor. You have strong vaults here, I would assume.
That we do.
And he's going to reach again into his bag and he's going to take out the flail. I wouldn't grab it with a bare hand.
Oh, you
Copied my rights and twisted it.
sorry?
Oh, he's gonna... I wouldn't grab this, his hand sizzling
Yeah.
with your bare hands.
Another 2.7 necrotic damage.
Alright. Yeah. It's unfun. It's a slight wince, but he bears through it.
Right. He kind of takes off his cloak for a moment, and just places it over the flail, and then grabs it.
Arngrim could have done something, but he chooses for it to sting. Reminds him.
Oh yeah.
They are doing terrible things.
What is
What I
this?
can only assume to be slaves. This is... Dwarf steel.
Come again.
This is forged out of the blood and bodies. In the same way we did for greenskins.
Kind of,
He shows his hands.
which is, you can see now what looks like a thorough burn mark straight through the center of your palm where you held the handle. As King Kazat kind of uncovers the handle for a moment, as still holding it with the cloth, kind of examines it for a moment. This looks to be very old, perhaps at least a century old.
Perhaps. But the fact that they have this technology, I wonder if they would forget it. I doubt their goblin king would let them.
I will have some of my forge masters look at this. Try to determine the extent of the production of these foul weapons.
Well, the productions of weapons is something not just on their mind. He's gonna hold out the ingot that he's made. The actual full-ass bar. I'm beginning again. The old ways.
Grudge steel. How did you find this?
I made it out of those who tried to take your home. I pulled the very blood from their bones and bodies. And now I ask to borrow your forge, so I might make a set of tools, so I can make us weapons again.
I will grant you all the proper supervision you will need to make these tools. With what you've done here this day, your group, and you, your majesty, kind of looks over to the Queen, Queen Mara Freefeather. You have my permission.
Thank you. I shall, as he kind of strokes the sides of his beard, and actually a little bit of a tuft of chin hair. I shall be weaving bits of my own hair into these tools. And if not too, I suppose, unkind, with the permissions of the mothers and fathers of the fallen, I would like to weave some of theirs in, and he'll show the harp. And the same I've done with this to memorialize them. So they keep fighting, even beyond death, making tools that will protect the next generation.
He nods and says, for those that requested burial within the catacombs of Druvenholm, I shall consult the families.
Of course. A lock for a life.
It's a silent,
With
solemn
these
nod.
tools. Oh yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just saying. He gives a silent, solemn nod.
With these tools, I'm going to end up seeking a blessing. I'll have to return to Temple by Doonhollow for that, but I shall attempt to make them here. It's only fitting. And I hope that every weapon they make shall be bane afterwards. No, not every weapon can be such a thing. Can be equally devastating. We, as he looks to Sayu, are very impressed by your cannoneers. My dear friend Sayun here is something of a master engineer herself, she won't admit it. We have an idea. If she has an idea, I'm more of the elbow work.
So,
I think we would like to discuss with you.
of course. It's strange to see an orc so far from the regions of Kitana. But you have aided us here this day. I should be happy to aid you.
Well, would you consider listening to my compatriot's innovations?
Of course.
She's quite skilled, as he points up towards the shoulder-mounted cannon.
Very well. Joyun, tell me, what's your idea?
I had it while I was traveling with Arngrim in his steam hammer. That is where the idea originally came from, and I worked on it a little bit. And after helping your cannoneers in the battle, it only gave me more to think about. Cannons are all well and good, but their range is limited to what you can see. But what if you could arch a cannonball or larger for longer range? Granted, you would have to rely on math to determine where it would land.
He kind of leans in forward. I'm listening.
It would take a bit of trial and error at first to target things, but if done correctly, in theory you could perhaps target anything as close to a mile or a mile and a half away.
Strokes his beard for a moment. Well, a cannon would have to be massive to accommodate that force.
Or
Fine Torven metal.
Kind of raises a brow. What type of fine dwarven metal?
Well, to reduce weight in size, mithril is an option.
another thing, if you would like to hear me out with this little bit of nonsense, if I should say it myself, we angle the cannon.
Aye, seems reasonable, straightforward.
Yes, but we angle it upwards. Not at the enemy, but at the sky.
Aye, that's normally how cannons work. If you want to get greater distance.
How about we build a prototype to show you what I mean?
Very well, that might help.
But I will say this, and she sort of takes out her little notebook and flips through a few pages. And she sort of stops on one and just looks at it with a slight smile. And then looks back to him. If we do this right, we could possibly mount them on the mountain sides with tunnel networks to the city itself. You could easily turn this into a fortress. Perhaps not as much as Dune Hollow, but something close enough.
But we do have cannons mounted on the outer walls of the courtyard. This isn't an unprecedented idea.
Now sort of winks to Arngrim. Perhaps not quite as what I have in mind.
Oh.
And flipping one more page over, Sao holds it over to Arngrim to see. And all that is written is just a single word. Doom shell.
Oh. There's a series of rapid links. You see, this is news to me. Magical ordnance. We might be able to get a lot of use out of your war priests. Making not just golems, but munitions.
So you're enchanting cannonballs, is that what you're getting at here?
More or less.
Kind of thinks
I don't know. Excuse me, go ahead.
He kind of thinks to himself for a moment. I suppose if he carved the right runes, it could certainly make them more devastating.
I don't know of a single grainskin that won't recoil from holy Dunish magic.
I like this idea.
If we were to set them up on your roads, I would wager they would reach, what would you say, Sahin? Down to the trees?
There's a slow nod.
Are you a craftsman as skilled as those like Hazard the Rune Maker in the workings of gears?
Do we not have here in Doonhall the Inventors Guild?
Aye, it's true. Druvenholm is rich here. But if they do, it could be a simple set of gears. And I suppose if you know so many clicks of a gear in that direction will reach so far out, you wouldn't even have to have the most skilled men to man these things. The engineers themselves wouldn't even have to.
Intriguing. Do we have any blueprints?
We have some rough sketches so far, unless you've been busy, as he turns to Salyun.
Now flips back a page or two, and then holds it out for both Arngrim and the king to see. It is a rough sketch, but it is composed of a 3/4 view of what the idea is meant to look like, as well as a cross-section of the mortar itself, with some rough guesstimates about thickness and material strength.
Well, the Inventors College is going to love this.
I say we take these ideas and try to refine them. Do the best we can.
Aye. You have my permission and my resources at your disposal.
Then I do think we might be able to give you something that will make a greenskin scream for the hills before it dies out in fire. And she sort of chuckles a bit.
Never again will we have to deal with green-skinned skirmishes at the border.
If they can get that close.
Imagine a series of small tunnels, perhaps only a dwarf or two wide, branching out from little forts, just within the range of these mortars at the main tower. Overlapping circles, radii of protection. And if the position does become overwhelmed, you just pop in the tunnel, latch it up and run back to the fort. You would have a far-reaching, devastating authority. With underground works, you could even begin to push forward and repel like this. Distant bombarding of camps. There wouldn't be a worry of future raids or war camps and bosses on the fringes. There would be no fringe. And if we unite together with the underways of every other hold, we could have a massive stretching web of bombardment. We could secure Mayland in a series of explosive circles.
His eyes
We wouldn't need the Commonwealth to help us. And there's a look to the Queen.
The Queen is definitely taking what you're putting down. And Queen Mara says, I never trusted them common folk. Bunch of angel worshipping zealots. And I assume my hold Farrenholm will also be part of this.
As long as you have room for them, then I don't see why not.
So what do
The
you...
only reason you would be part is if you say no.
Well, I'm not going to do that now, am I? So when do we get started, Kazad? Looks over to Kazad and gives a smirk. When they're ready, my friend.
Oh, and
There's a lot of... Oh, go ahead, you first up.
I should mention one thing. The best part about this mortar system. And she sort of looks to Arngrim. It is possible it could be made mobile.
Imagine a series of maybe minecart rails in these underway tunnels, quickly transferring heavy machinery and weapons and ammunition. We could have a scaled down version, but a much longer, our own deepway tram, going back and forth. And instead of from Dune to the Commons, it would be from tower and fort to fort. Like the bones in a body were the great branches of ribs holding the heart together. Be the heart of Mayland. Our defenses.
Well, you've certainly got some vision, Arngrim.
I do try to tell him that starts somewhere before we go this big, but...
Oh, if you can't dream big, why dream at all?
Sao does look to him with a smile. It is possible.
And if I started small, would I have my tank?
No, that is true. And I've thought about maybe outfitting your tank with some kind of a mortar system. But we do need to see.
Well, Regardless, this talk is more appropriate for the Inventors Guild. Let me show you. He kind of
Very well.
takes you aside for a moment, leads you through the massive caverns of the town of Druvenholm, to become to what looks like a ziggurat, partly embedded into the side of the cliff face here. And above it, you can see what looks like numerous. How would you describe it? It almost looks like a dwarven-style Greek temple in a way. You can see on the very front of it is the on the very front, the very apex of the roof here, looks like a circle of runes, the symbol that you're familiar with, Ungrim, of Gundren.
Hell yeah.
The lesser ancestor god of innovation, engineering, history, and magic. This appears to be the center of Gundren worship, possibly throughout all of Mainland.
The fucking absolute unit. The one who basically made dwarven gunpowder.
Which gunpowder is named after.
It just hit me.
Same with what?
You fucking cheeky bastard.
Yeah. Same with
Alders? Gundren.
aye. Same with guns.
Fucking.
Who do you think they were named after?
The man who fucking made him.
Mr. Gunn.
Just Duke Nukem music.
Yeah, and as you're making your way through the town here, you do eventually catch up with Vardnia, Liska, and Vellum. You see the rest of your party here being escorted by none other than King Khazad Runemaker himself.
Vellum, despite sort of piggybacking Vardnia, will give a respectful nod to His Highness. Your Majesty.
Gives you a nod back. Nod of respect, especially after what you've done for this town.
Looking at the nerds being giddy over there.
Hell yeah. Well, when Sao Yun and Arngrim have the expressions that they do right now, you know it can only mean one thing.
Yep, I suspect there's like the poorly restrained grin on Arngrim's face.
If you see
Oh, yeah,
his
baby.
mustache starts to twirl, then you know something's going on.
Seems like you had a productive talk.
Absolutely. We've come to an arrangement in order to be properly borrowing their smithing stations here. If you would be interested, you are absolutely welcome to come join us. I'm going to be making a set of tools, and well, might not be fueled by the sun, but I'd love your help.
Normally I'd be all for that. Did kind of just come from war. I might need a bit to rest and,
Of course.
think about everything.
Well, it wouldn't be tonight, but I totally understand.
Oh, well, should be fine for after.
Of course.
See, Vaddy, everyone's safe and sound. A little dinged up, but all good.
even while she's on your shoulders, you just feel this weight from her shoulders just lift. It gives a deep, relieved sigh.
What time is it by now?
Right now it's coming down to late afternoon, about 4, 5-ish in the 4, 5-ish in
Oh,
the
so you've got a bit of time.
Yeah.
Alright, what do you say we all find somewhere to have a sit down, maybe some food and rest?
Sounds good to me.
Alright. So, you leave the temple behind as you look for somewhere else to rest. This enormous kind of boxy shape, encircled with these sort of stout pillared porticos. You go to look for a tavern. Eventually, you do find a small, humble-looking tavern called the Bottomless Cauldron. You see, it's kind of carved into the stonework, well out of the way, in one of the smaller districts of the town. You can see that the signage is almost looks like a large cauldron stirring like a stew of magma almost. As you make your way inside, you do find a number of rooms that are available to you, free of charge. You're being escorted by the king
I
after
should
all.
fucking hope so.
Yeah. Absolutely free of charge.
Yeah. How hectic is the bar right now, given, everything?
Given that most people are coming out of their safe havens, their safe houses, and kind of returning to city life, and very little attention is being given to reopening of businesses right now. Besides, places to rest.
So will we be? Is this place functioning? Will we be able to get some food?
You will be able to get some food, yes.
Okay.
It's
It's a dwarven place. If you cannot get food, then
Well, I
leave.
mean, yeah, Jenna was saying they're not prioritizing opening up business, so I wondered if this was sort of that case. But cool.
Oh yeah, you might not get second breakfast, but you'll get breakfast.
oh yeah.
I mean, getting breakfast in the evening is pretty weird. So
It's more the figure of speech, you know.
But yeah, we're gonna have Villain will head in, sort of plop Vadby on a stool, have a sit down himself, and just get some food, I guess.
All right. Again, food is provided for you free of charge.
Hooray! I know you may not have much an appetite, and I sure as hell don't, but probably good for everyone to get some food in their bellies.
Yeah. I imagine also a very early night, considering what you've been through.
Sleeping is probably lower on the priority
Okay.
list right now. Tell them.
Yeah.
You don't just saunter out of war and then instantly want to go to sleep. The thing.
We did
Surprised
just
Angrim hasn't commandeered the fucking kitchen.
Hasn't had a chance to yet.
Well, we've just arrived. Have at it.
Yeah.
Or are you sticking around and doing other things before we go to eat and drink?
For a notable change, Arngrim is not interested in cooking, actually.
Gasp. Sometimes you just want to have somebody cook for you. Let's change a pick.
I guess anybody would be able to tell, but he's got some really tired eyes.
Yeah. It's not
When you,
like we've just been through the equivalent of a small marathon in the matter of, well,
A few hours. A morning.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. When you head on up and get yourself some rest.
Oh no, it's fine. I need to get some food in me belly.
Right, well, don't be too long with it.
I know.
I figure you more than anyone's had a hell of a go at it.
I just don't feel too much like sleeping at the moment.
Yeah, I can get that.
So as you all have your meals for the evening, at this point it's pretty much whatever you want. You are among the heroes of Druvenholm. You are deservedly getting whatever meal you are requested. So,
Hey, Liska, sorry, didn't know you had more spiel.
I was just going to describe what meals you're getting. That's less important.
I didn't want to cut you off. Anyway, Liska, the good idea or bad idea to drink after this all? Like, heavily.
I mean, you're alive. Why not celebrate it?
Fair point. Barkeep,
Hey,
give us some Ardale. It's something that can knock a mountain folk on her ass.
I give it the strongest
Right,
one they
smile.
got. And then makes his way back behind to the back room and brings out what looks like very, very old-looking bottles. Looks like you've been aged for quite some time. This is probably his best stock.
But yeah,
When
the
when
remark
the
of...
dwarf brings out a bottle with dust on it, you know it's good.
Yeah. But yeah, the sort of the remark of something strong enough to knock a mountain folk on her ass, he gives sort of a Liska an inviting wry smile. It's like, hey, come drink.
Oh, she just assumed that's why he was ordering it for her.
Yep.
Like, yeah. Yeah, this guy's thoroughly enjoying. Is the king still around, or did he leave?
He's left for now. You saw him kind of enter the large temple structure.
Okay. Before he would have left, Liska would have liked to, be like, hey, as members of the Council of Malin's, defense. Anyway.
There's the
Slightly-
defense council.
she's slightly drunk. Where is the portal?
Well, the Waystone. Right.
Yes.
It's just up in the temple there. If you speak to the guild members, I'm sure they'll be happy to allow you to attune to it.
Okay. So like the big portal connect all the major cities is there?
Or if you're looking for the main central nexus point, there is the Sapphire Assembly do have a place here. Follow me.
Okay.
It kind of leads you through more of the city. It's a little ways off from the temple, but not far. It's what looks like a large tower, kind of jutting out from the side of the cliff. You can see numerous. What would you call those extra little towerlets, kind of poking up from the side?
Buttresses?
Buttresses, that's it. You see this strange kind of complicated network of small buttresses that look like they shouldn't even be able to hold themselves aloft, but they do anyway, because clearly this is a mage tower.
Yeah. Liska is also going to like be like to the group like, hey, going to attune to the Nexus. If you want to be too, let's come along.
Oh shit.
She says slightly slurred.
Oh, we can do that tomorrow.
Okay, I'll be back.
I'll join Liska while they're cooking my food, because it probably will take a bit.
Yeah.
I will order a lot.
Big old grand feast. Yes,
Since
it's-
that happened, like, Priya can, have the request for booze be after Liska returns, because that makes
Yeah.
sense
Yeah.
chronologically.
But regardless, you do eventually make your way into the Mage Tower, and the king is more than happy to kind of escort you in there himself. The members of the Sapphire Assembly, as they're kind of making their way through various scrolls, kind of categorizing, kind of retaking their places in categorizing, archiving things as they were previously interrupted, presumably by this attack that happened outside, forcing them underground. And as you join them inside, you make your way into a large chamber that shouldn't be there. And you also notice in your kind of slightly drunken haze, this is a lot bigger on the inside. But it's magic shit.
Yeah, magic bullshit.
Yeah. You come to what looks like a tall, round-looking antechamber with a number of what looks like sort of axes, like how would you describe it? Like an octagon or a septagon. Various points at which kind of radiate out from a central point within the center of this room, and you can see the point which they radiate from seems to be a very large waystone.
Alright. Yeah, so this is gonna kind of go up and be like, so do I just touch it, or last time I touched the stone that was in a pillar, bad things happened.
As you were talking to one of the local archivists, see kind of a long bearded, long white beard, kind of blue robes with a sort of golden trim, instructs you in how to tune to this. It's simply hold your hand, concentrate for about 30 minutes, should be fine.
Concentrate. Right.
30 minutes, concentrate for drunk mountain folk.
Exactly. She's like, okay. Do you have like a chat or something? Wait, is this on a plinth, like a pillar?
Yes, it's a small plinth.
Okay. Lissa's gonna sit down and put her hand on it.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And she's gonna concentrate and try not to fall asleep while she's sitting down with her eyes closed.
Oh yeah. So.
And then once that's done, she's gonna like return to the group. Be like, thank you, King. I appreciate your help. And by the way, you did very well on the battlefield today.
I'd say likewise about you. You sure that was your bear?
Yes.
But don't normally see bears being used as mounts. Normally that's eagles and lambs, but okay.
Well, you don't normally see mountain folk either, do you?
Fair point. Kind of pats you on the back.
Where does he pat me?
He's so short.
Everyone always going for Liska's ass.
This is the issue about being a versatile creature.
Yeah.
In a place where nobody's fucking taller than 5 feet.
He pats you on the thigh, friendly gesture, and kind of makes his way out.
Yeah, and then Liska is going to kind of meander her way back to. She's gonna look around for like. Wait, where? She's gonna look around for any carters or people that can potentially like get her back to where the group was.
There are.
Did not remember the pathway.
Yeah, there are a number of Ramjort cart taxis that are sort of re-upping their business. Much less than Dune Hollow, of course. This is a smaller stronghold, but regardless, you can find one of these carts for about a silver.
Yeah, go back to bottomless cauldron.
Right, okay. Kind of looks at you, already drunk, looking to find another tavern, but he's not going to argue with the silver.
Or a giant mouthful.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Eventually, both you and Arngrim make your way back to the bottomless cauldron after attuning to this new waypoint, which you have now unlocked.
Yeah. We can now go from here to Doomhollow.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah,
Need to
fast
get my
travel.
retainer's pay.
Has it been that long already? I guess it has been,
Yeah,
hasn't
dude,
it?
it's been almost 3 months.
Jeez. Okay.
Time to
Need
get
to
that
get our
fat
retainers
stack.
pay.
That fat
Yeah.
stack.
So, just a small question. When was the next combat supposed to be for the tournament?
We haven't been told. We don't know yet.
Okay, I was gonna say
I
because
think I thought
it
we had
seems
like a
we're-
vague time deadline.
Let's say because it seems like we've been kind of slacking.
Oh,
Though
yeah.
I mean, it is a
That's why
very
he's
very
trying
long
to go
way.
there.
I think we're just making our way over there, and by the time we get there, it'll be like, I don't know, a few months, and then we'd be fine. I don't know. I'll remember.
To
Yeah,
be
true.
fair, we haven't really been slacking. We've been training.
True, and we have been
Yeah, everything
moving
we've
in the
done has
general
been
direction.
on the way.
Yeah, everything that's been kind of sidetracking us has only been, in all honesty, just maybe a day or two of a sidetrack.
Mhm.
It's the traveling that's really been costing us.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're trying to get to the big city.
Yep.
Okay. So as you make your way back to the cauldron, you all meet up there. It's turning early evening now, and gradually most people are sort of making their way home early to attend to their various businesses, given what's happened. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I think Sable wanted to get Liska drunk.
Yes.
Like full on hammer drunk or just like
Well, I mean,
Drunk.
not like puking in the gutters level, but
Hammer strike drunk.
a
but yeah, at least to a pleasant degree, so things don't seem as bad.
There's a tiny fucking cannon.
It's the teeniest cannon.
snub nose mortar.
Snub nose. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
That's what mortars technically are.
I know. Oh god.
Anyway, so yeah, and something mountain folk on her ass. Something.
Yeah, some stuff.
Alright.
So yeah, Liska enjoys the fine bottle of whatever the fuck it is.
This would be Fire Brew Belly. So it's Fire Belly Brew, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, if I really brew, let's get fucking stunk.
Alright, so as many of you take big old swigs of this Fire Belly Brew,
I'm not drinking that, by the way.
Yeah, Val and likely Liska are probably the only ones who have actively gone to drink it so far.
I need Liska and Velen, both of you make Constitution saving throws, please.
Alright.
You notice as the tavern keeper comes out with what looks like sort of
25.
very old looking large sheet of metal. And he, as you're drinking, he passes it over towards Uliska. Just hold this in front of your mouth, okay? And you can see,
Oh no.
you can see what looks like on the metal appears to be a large blackened charred spot.
Liska's just gonna like Why didn't you do this before I took the drink? Like, this seems like it should be permanent and then I'm imagining fire comes out of her mouth.
Yeah, you watch as Liska hiccups and then burps in one, and a massive gout of flame just sprays the metal sheet and just blackens it entirely.
Also, your fucking tattoo helping you in drinking.
Hey, why you hating, man? That's why it's there.
So how does Vellum fare? Because a 19 is good,
Yeah,
but this seems like
it's-
some primo stuff.
it's the same thing. As soon as you see Liska finish up her fire breathing, you feel a welling of heat surging up your gullet before you kind of scurry, take the metal sheet, hold it in front of you, and this secondary gout of heat erupts from your belly as well.
Oh, fuck it out.
And that was the same thing that Raelof himself invented.
Surprise, no.
Who invented?
Raelof. Oh, you don't know Raelof?
The name sounds slightly familiar.
He kind of looks over towards you, Arngrim. You seem like the religious tape. Why don't you go ahead and tell him?
I think he's also. a bit
lad.
drunk. I think also he's a bit drunk.
He may have been dipping into his own alchemist jug of endless beer.
I just realised I need to make that article public. Give me a second.
Yeah. Nah, I meant the bartender.
Oh.
He seems pretty drunk.
Well, yeah, you gotta be after it. Everybody gets drunk to celebrate.
Oh yeah. He seems a little bit pissed himself.
Just a little bit.
He's a dwarf. It's kind of
Raelof
mandatory.
He's one of our ancestor gods. He's not one of the biggest, but he's pretty important.
I'll
That
send you that link. Right, give me a second.
that stone circle for Gundrim you saw back there, it's our union. Well, Raelof is the son of a gun that stole fireworks and black powder. He
Who do you steal them
won
from?
it orcs. He had a grand heist. He's a bit of a prankster, you see. One day one of his pranks went a wee bit too far. He got exiled. To make up for it, he decided that he would find the finest jewel in all of the lands and bring it to the king. So he raided. Oh, I can never pronounce his name, too many syllables. A great red dragon. And he took the gems from there.
It was
The biggest ruby.
a white dragon, actually.
I remember clearly it was red.
Liska's like,
Shut
no,
up,
it's white.
Barkeep, I'm telling a story. Well, he raided a white dragon and stole a ruby and lots of gems. Those are the gems in the crown of the king today. And on the way back, he got the best ale that he could. It's actually something that he brewed and stored away in the coldest mountains. And from the orcs, in a game of cards, he fairly and squarely won the recipe for the first fireworks powders. Absolutely fair and square, and if any of you lot say otherwise, I'll not be on the gabber. And so he came back in the midst of what is this season? He came back and he was like midsummer or so. I think it was Jaundice? Anyway, there was a big drinking festival of alcohol and pranks and funnery. The king forgave him after seeing the jewels and bringing this beer. And to celebrate winning the recipe for fireworks from the orc, he brought the first fireworks to Dwarfdom in Olamayland. He set them off, and upon seeing the wonderful lights and explosions and hearing them, the dwarf Gundren was inspired to make the first black powder. That was our first time, so we didn't have the same safeties as the orcs did, and we set a mountainside on fire for the better part of a week. And that's where the Festival of Fire comes from. Oh, and that's Rayloff too.
Right. Okay. Give her lots of weird gods.
Aye. Every one of them was one of us and existed.
Well, either way, that shit's hotter than Sunstrike peppers. Alright, let's go. You, me, let's go. Come on. He's sort of holding the mug up. And yes, this is a challenge.
Let me get on there.
It is a probably poorly thought out challenge, but one he is committing to nonetheless.
Alright, so round one.
I want to get Liska's reaction though to this lad against this huge
She's just gonna
fucking
be like,
behemoth.
she's just gonna like shrugs like, okay. Like,
Say what you will, he's got balls.
Alright, round one.
round one already happened. This is round two.
Oh, round two then. Round two.
We're already in the thick of it.
Arngrim, Liska, and Vellum, go ahead and make Constitution saving throws.
I have an unfair advantage as a dwarf.
As the
You do have an
barkeep,
advantage, yes.
the barkeep rapidly just goes downstairs, grabs a couple more metal sheets.
There you go.
Shit.
So,
Oh,
Liska.
yeah, advantage toggle. Not that it matters, but
Liska, you surprisingly, you fare the worst this time around. And you're having trouble keeping the sort of what feels like burbling lava within your stomach from coming back up again. And you, as you hold your breath to try and stifle it down, you will see as a couple of gouts of steam just from her ears.
Vellum's straight up, like, not even using, like, the metal plate, he's just going to tilt head upwards, just a gout of flame straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, it's, not as bad once you know it's coming. Oh, that's spicy. Give it.
And Arngrim, you proudly follow Vellum as you tilt up your head, another gout of flame kind of singeing what you now know, or at least what is thankfully not wooden ceiling. It is stone. You can see.
Oh yeah, we're underground, I think.
Yeah, you can now see a number of char marks across the ceiling at various places from previous times here.
Old ones, I figure. I doubt they crack this stuff out very often.
Oh yeah.
Also,
yeah.
is Arngrim doing a prayer before every drink?
No,
Ah, okay.
I'm not doing. I wish I was.
It sounds like it's just like, dude, please don't burn my mouth off.
All right.
Don't singe the mustache.
Alright.
I'm gonna have to keep track of this impromptu.
Probably a good idea, because we got some of the more constitution-y boys here. Save for Grunky, obviously, but.
All right, so this is gonna be first to 3 fails. Right, so that was
Round 2.
actually we'll say that was sort of round 1 here for like series of fails. Second round. So you all begin chugging once again.
Is that a nat 1? Yeah.
I'm gonna use Indomitable.
Wow. I mean, I might roll a nat 1 too.
I mean, it's a save. It's a save I can
19.
Is that a 14 or is that a 14 or a 16 Algrim?
16.
Oh yeah, because he's dwarf.
He's able to. Okay.
Yep.
I have advantage on alcohol poisons.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yep. And I
Right.
repay Indomitable my 1 into a 19.
We've done it with every drinking thing before.
Yep.
16.
Okay.
Yeah, Arngrim, you can.
Can I get advantage for simply being twice the person?
At least you got advantage against poison saves.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, drink the same amount that they are. I feel like having literally 8 times the mass might affect it.
You know,
If we're wheedling stuff out, if you say no, it's fine.
Don't make me be the only one without advantage.
Honestly,
Hey, you made the mistake of challenging someone
yes, I
literally
did.
twice your size.
you know what? Fuck it. It's just a grim. It's just
It's
a
for fun.
drink. Yeah, it's just fun. I'll say you get advantage on it as well.
Also, the
See
fucking
if it matters.
barefaced cheek of you with
No,
your
just
plus
19.
9.
Okay.
As if you need
I will
advantage.
I will also remind you that you are technically of demonic heritage, and by the rules we have, you could take Infernal Constitution as a feat to give you resistance against poisons.
We will say that's what's giving her advantage on this.
Only if she has the feat.
Well,
Either way, she's got advantage of being stonkingly huge, so onwards.
Yeah. But regardless, Arngrim,
That's a
you
17 for this.
feel the burbling up within your system, and instead of just this proud gout of fire, it's more just a stonking, belching burp, and a bit of smoke just from your mouth, and you feel your eyes kind of watering up. This is some good stuff. All right, 3rd round.
Oh no. That's a 10.
Oh,
I feel this is slightly imbalanced. I love this. Just like both of you with fucking advantage over there. Let's go with a plus 9.
oh yeah. All right, so
And
you,
you
Yeah.
on top of it.
technically plus 11 if you think
Yeah,
about
plus
the
11.
Vellum, this
Fucking bonkers.
Yeah,
this-
it just goes down the wrong way. It's like,
Oh, yeah. There you go. You spill a bit of smoke out your nostrils.
Oh, that burns.
that's the worst. Oh. I mean, it's better than getting. That's the worst.
Right, let's see. This will be round number 4. You're 1-all.
I'm. Dice is loving the 19s today.
Oh man, it's 13. You know what?
The fuck?
Why not? Let's do an Indomitable.
You gonna
I
Indomitable as well?
Yeah, I rolled a 4 and a 1. Let's do Indomitable just for shiggles. Yeah, this is what
Alright, Arngrim, can I roll yours?
Oh, jeez, what the fuck?
Man, Liska's just. Well, now that I think about it, she was drinking heavily before this. So it
Yeah,
makes
she
sense.
pre-gamed.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
there you go.
7.
What
Oh
the
no.
fuck? How am I
So I
winning
think
this?
Liska-
We're getting tired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
loss.
excuse me for not having a plus 9.
yeah.
No,
this-
plus 11.
Just so you know, the DC's
Sorry,
getting...
plus 11.
Hey, I'm a fighter.
It just doesn't even make me even. Maybe I should have been playing.
Maybe I
Just-
should have got the tattoo. It gives me plus.
just so you guys know, the DC's going up further each time, each round.
Oh, I
know,
figured
yeah.
so.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll roll above a 5 next time.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I have to roll really high now.
Okay, let's see. Arngrim fails his... Yeah, Arngrim fails his 2nd round
I'm sure Liska does too with the 15.
with a 15. Yep.
Hang on, didn't you re-roll with your Indomitable?
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I fail either way. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, you never know. 15 maybe.
Okay, let's see.
I'm
Next
pretty
round.
sure we're like at. I think we're like at DC 20 right now.
This is some... I mean, Fire Belly Brew is pretty strong stuff.
19 again? What the fuck? I've had like 4 19s in this drinking
I'm
contest.
going to start praying. I'm gonna make use of it because it's the only way that I
I
can make
cannot
up.
let these show me up.
Not only was I 7 points behind, now I'm 7 points and advantage.
There you go.
Oh,
boy.
I have a question,
Mhm.
and this is just, again, for shits and giggles. Can I use a second wind?
Second wins for hell. Don't even.
No, I mean,
I
that's
mean,
true.
how,
That is true.
how many do you have left?
One.
Right.
I mean, we only have 1 second wind.
Yeah,
right
we only
now.
have one at this level, but
Okay, so you will be
don't
able
go
to
too
use.
crazy because
Yeah.
Indomitable makes sense because it's save related.
I
Wind
don't
is just
think
help.
I don't think second wind's going to help you here.
No, that's true. That's true. That's fine.
I mean, if we burn our fucking throats out, then maybe. But
Yeah. So,
oh god, I'm getting giddy now. But the question is, does Vellum pass? Because the DC is getting higher.
you just
You
narrowly
all just-
narrowly pass.
Oh god, the constant 19s aren't going to save me anymore.
Well, it's at that point that both Liska and Arngrim, you both fail 3 times in the same round.
Roll.
Vern's just sort of like
Very
he's sort of looking at the drink. It's like, oh, fuck, this is getting hard, and then he's like holding it up as if ready to drink, and then looks over expectantly towards like Liska and Arngrim, waiting for them to drink at the same time, and then he just sees them both like just done, and is like, this doesn't seem right.
I love
Whatever, I'll
it.
take it. Fuck it. And he'll down it one last time.
I love it when the dice play.
I just thought, hold on.
Oh.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
So, since this is a competition, can I consider these two my enemies?
When you
Plus
warning
one to attack
maneuvering
rolls
your
and saving
fucking
throws?
drink.
With crowd
You
control,
cannot
mountain folk.
fucking use crowd control for this.
I mean,
No.
I feel like this
No,
counts as attack
no.
rolls and saving throws.
Jesus,
We're
man.
wringing every possible advantage we can for a goddamn drinking contest.
Maybe next drinking competition, sure, but it's,
I'm
it's
just saying,
already done.
it'd be fun because that would make Liska's roll a 19.
At some point, we need to just have all our resources and have a no holds barred contest. But yeah, Val's
It's
gonna
a
drink
fucking
and I'm
Olympic event.
Yeah. Competitive,
just finishes off his mug.
competitive drinking.
Oh, that was some good shit, and fuck, that is hitting me.
I'd probably say next time, next drinking competition, you'd be able to.
Yeah, next time we can go fucking bananas with this.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, he's just sort of like empty mug on the counter, still just baffled by what's going on.
I mean, Liska did spend 2 hours drinking before this.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
know that though.
It makes sense.
To him, this is just impossible.
He watched her drinking.
Well, he sort of arrived on the end of it, but his thoughts were elsewhere.
This
He's
big,
fully aware of her pre-game.
this big lady can't handle a drink. What is this?
Like, fuck it out, you two must be tired or something. I did not think I would come out of that at all. And he does this, like, the slow blinks.
Slow,
I
not in
think-
sync blinks.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
very slightly out of sync. I think I am ready for bed. He's sort of like hands slapped on the counter as he pushes himself up, a little wobblishly.
Right. Do you want me to take them upstairs?
I'll.
I don't.
He's like gonna start trying to move Angrim, but him being
Yeah.
fucking plate armored stout boy, just like it just comes off as like a. Come on, Angrim, you need some sleep too.
Orange. The white is still on a fried potatoes.
And then just looks at Liska and is just like, there's no hope in hell of moving her. It's like, she's fine.
Liska's gonna lift up her head and just be like, how far is the room?
How far are the rooms?
The rooms are typically downstairs. much akin to the Golden Watch.
Oh,
that-
that's fine. And gravity can help.
Gravity will get me there.
Oh, I love it.
You know, Liska, I am never gonna let you live this down.
I mean, that's fine. You can always
fuck.
challenge me again after I haven't been drinking beforehand.
You're on. They'll
Okay.
sort of slowly, just not full stagger, but definitely some swagger of a stagger. Off to the room.
Okay.
Alright, he'll be up too late, everyone. We had a hell of a day, and probably gotta travel or some shit tomorrow. Your leader has spoken. Then he almost falls over, and I almost fell over out of my chair.
Liska's gonna push Vellum over. As soon as he says that. Your leader has spoken. Push.
Yeah, it just straight over, just gone.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Then she's gonna walk past, and then she's gonna get her shield, sit on it, and go down the stairs.
For fuck's sake.
Sledding down the stairs.
Vellum, behind you, you just see thump, 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 thump. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh god. Oh god, did she push me down the stairs?
No, I think he's saying for me.
Oh.
Hup. 18.
Well, either way, we both rolled.
I mean, Vellum, you just narrowly make him manage to get out of the way of Liska as she just careens down the stairs and surprisingly doesn't fall arse over a tea kettle. And just
Oh, I was thinking that like so she pushed Vellum over and then got to the stairs before him. That's
Yeah,
why
that's
that's
what
why
I
I
was
actually
thinking.
did it.
Oh,
Yeah, pushing Tim
this
down the
still
stairs
works.
would be a bit much.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
He's gonna sort of like push himself up. What's my foot in? It's totally
Hey,
oblivious.
careful of the masonry! Down's beard.
Which one's my room?
At the far end.
Of course, she's the bottom one. She just kind of like slowly gets up.
I'll pay for any damages. Sort of staggers himself upward.
It's
Stone,
okay.
fine.
Alright, bedtime, Betty. Get on. There's like a big over-exaggerated fucking arm swing of a gesture. And he also goes down the stairs, but very carefully.
Yeah, if Vladimir helps you down the stairs, she's
She's a good girl.
yeah. She sees
Also,
you
because
to,
if I fall down, I will probably break my neck.
yeah, she sees you to your room. So that,
Imagine now coming out of a fucking war almost unscathed and then breaking your neck after drinking.
oh, what an undignified way to go.
Roll a D1000, quick. It's like a nat 1, you die. That's a
Right,
joke,
and
actually.
like climactic Karen.
It's actually a joke thing. Like a joke, but not a joke thing. And
Yeah,
like, we usually have after this.
yeah.
Like you wake up in the morning, roll a D1000. You roll a 1, you
got
died in your sleep. Anyway, so yeah,
Yeah.
let's just gonna like
Is,
slowly
is
get up.
has anyone actually died yet?
No, someone's rolled a 3 though.
Ooh.
But so yeah, going to slowly get to her room, just kind of open the door, crouch, kind of crawl in because of course it's a fucking dwarven bullshit room,
Yeah.
and then just shut the door behind her, feel like she's in a Willy Wonka room that's too small for her, and then just be like lay across the bed.
Yeah, Velen will get to his room and just sort of like he'll get as far as like getting the bulkier shit of his armor off and then just slump face down on the bed.
Yeah. Vladimir kind of comes over, tucks you in, takes off a robe and kind of puts that over you.
And then fucking what is it, lemurs up on the ceiling or some
Yeah.
shit, however
Yeah.
she sleeps.
Yeah, typically how she sleeps, just hanging upside down with the tail.
Oh, Velen's gonna be so fucking hungover tomorrow.
Oh yes. Arngrim, I imagine, Arngrim, Sayun, and Grunker, you will find your rooms for the meantime. Anything you'd like to do before heading to bed?
Nothing particular comes to mind, really. Everything that I'm gonna do is gonna be happening tomorrow, so
Yeah.
no big issues.
Yeah, Grook haven't really been doing much.
Licking his wound.
Yeah, he's pretty tired.
Making sure his arm doesn't fall off.
Yeah,
Again.
Pretty
probably.
tired.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably talking. Yeah, probably talking to Webby a bit,
Yeah.
and then he has to go into bed.
Okay.
It's not that he's not even had a drink because he doesn't really want beer.
Okay.
Actually, do deeplings make any kind of alcohol based on mushrooms?
Oh, Ducky.
Fire salt mushroom.
Oh, Ducky.
Alcohol
Yeah,
made from truffles.
You have no idea.
You're right, I have no idea. That's kind of why I'm
Let's
asking.
find out.
Hey, man.
So-
I mean, RP moment.
As you all.
Nah, I'm pretty done as well. So I would like to head to bed, because she got a lot to work with.
So, as you all head to bed for the moment, Ongrim, you toss and turn in bed. It's uncomfortably hot, even for you. The mattress is grainy, as if something or someone has spilled sand and gravel in it and has only just kind of brushed it haphazardly clean, but left remnants of it. And every time you kind of sweep it out from beneath you, there's still more. So you kind of get up to kind of shake the bed clean. You step on gravel. Hot coals. You look back to your bed and realise it's not there. Instead of the darkness of your room, you have to wince at blinding firelight as you open your eyes.
I don't like the ominous music.
Is this where you find out Ongrim is actually a warlock?
No. No.
Yeah. All over again.
I need to stop playing Warlocks.
You open your eyes. You find yourself stood within a massive subterranean chamber of magma. The ceiling extends up forever into an orange haze of smoke, as if you're at the bottom of a tremendous pit. You find yourself coming awake on the shores of a lake of lava that seems to extend for hundreds and hundreds of feet. You are Newt, the barest form from where you first emerged into this world. The greatest creation of your mother and father. You look about the tremendous empty cavern. You see a small island in the center of this lava lake. A large figure sits, leaned forward in a contemplative hunch atop a throne, motionless. At the edge of the shore, you see a 10-foot wide by 15-foot long chevron-shaped platform constructed from solid brass. At the end point of this chevron, you can see a metal plinth. What do you do?
Am I able to reach this plinth?
You can, step by step, venture across the hot coals on the shore. It should burn and scald, but your feet remain unscathed despite the heat. You step up to the glowing metal. Likewise, it doesn't burn. The sweat does bead from your forehead. Before the plinth, you see the black and gold shape of the grudge carver, your hammer. Upon the surface of the plinth, you see inscribed a single rune, and also what looks like a single bar of grudge steel. Go ahead and make a history check for me.
Alright. History check. Da-da-da. That shouldn't have been with advantage, but it was the first roll.
Well, it's...
That is a fuck you.
I love it when the dice come together. It's clear from the shape of the rune. It's very, very old dwarven dialect. Perhaps one of the first originals. When dwarves first forayed into the art of runecraft.
So it's an ancient ingot.
The rune is beneath the ingot. The grudge carver and the ingot are sort of set either side of the plinth, of the plinth, and in the center of the plinth you see the rune.
Center of the plinth, you see the rune. Ingot. Oh man. This is a metal plinth, right?
It is.
Is it stable enough to use as an anvil?
You kind of... It is very hard, very sturdy.
I'm really feeling compelled to work it. This figure, sitting across the way, would my history at all also apply to that, to see, like, do I recognize this person? Are they also from this time?
Bess, you can tell it's difficult to make out details from this distance. To make it to sort of get an anchor of any sort of historical significance, you probably need to get closer. Although fairly difficult because the island is in the center of this massive lake of lava. You are on the shore. There is a single sort of chevron platform on the shore that you're standing on.
So it's not possible for me to reach that throne, or that person?
Not where you're currently standing, no. But you do...
Alright.
I will say, you do make out that this is presumably some sort of statuesque figure. Wrought in stone.
Okay.
And it's very large.
Stone figure. Ominous. I have my little ingot here. I'm surrounded by magma. Well, I appear not to be burning. There's only one thing I can do. I have my hammer, a makeshift anvil, and a bar of my steel. I need to start making a pair of tongs out of it.
Alright. Go ahead and make me a smithing check.
I'm going to, because I don't have any other means, and I haven't tried casting magic, I'm going to try to endure the overwhelming heat and use the magma itself to heat the metal. So I'm guessing it'd probably be based off of Constitution.
Yes.
Make sure I don't have advantage on. Okay.
So you strike the rune. Ting! Ting, ding, ding, ding. The sound echoes, deep, reverberating throughout the chamber. The entirety of the chamber rumbles and quakes. A number of rocks break loose from the walls and start to tumble down into the magma below. And then you see as they splash into the molten rock, arcs of bright orange energy surge up from the lake in their wake like a sort of coronal loop of the sun, and careen down into the magma in front of the platform. The quaking continues as something stirs beneath the lava, which begins to solidify and rise. Another great platform rises in front of the first, similar in construction, another chevron, another plinth. It's made of iron this time. This isn't a lake of molten magma. This is a lake of molten iron. This platform is also accompanied by two great statues either side, two dwarves. Their visages are familiar. The first is a dwarven woman with a large mane of hair, and a bold and stern look in her eyes. The head is turned down towards you with a proud smile. Helgen Brackenbrick, your mother. On the other side is a male dwarf. He has no beard, but possesses a long mustache and sideburns. He wears a well-worn apron, and his gaze is soft and stern. His statue depicts Granick Brackenbrick.
Oh, he's gonna fight back a tear. Perhaps he can't tell where a tear begins or ends, and the beads of sweat on his face start. He'll step up to the next one. Continue his fortune.
This new platform glows hot, which eventually subsides. The rune upon the plinth of this platform has multiple meanings. Your earlier history check, it's difficult to decipher them from. It's difficult to decipher them due to the old dialect of the Dwarven language, but you find the meaning family. Then you suddenly feel cold as you look upon this rune, and your mind wanders. Like auditory hallucinations, and auditory and visual hallucinations, you hear panic and confusion of thousands of dwarves fleeing. You hear the pursuing snorts and cackles of many kobolds. Above you, the wings of a monstrous dragon soar overhead, a blast of cold that narrowly misses you as you flee into the depths of the mountain pass below. Many years go by, and you find each other. You fall in love, and forge the greatest of treasures. You watch him grow, and follow in your footsteps. But one half of you falls to an incurable illness. Grief, then acceptance. You grow sick as your son ventures out into the world to bring glory to your clan and family. You are surrounded by friends and family. But even though your son is not there in your final moments, you know he'll do you proud. You pass in your sleep.
no, that's not how it goes. As he's sort of shaken aback by this. He didn't know that part of the story. There's a sad minute of silence as he chokes back feelings and swallows it and tries to doodly work through.
This was 50 years ago. Not when your father passed, but when they met. The dragon, the kobolds. Malinis, bride of the frozen ruin. We go ahead and make a... Oh, you made another...
Do you need me to make another one?
Yep, make another smithing tools check, again with Constitution. DC has gone
Up.
up.
Oh shit, 16.
Okay, that is enough to pass. You once again strike the next rune. The cavern shakes. Tendrils of fiery energy reach out, plummeting into the pools of molten iron before you. Psst, psst, as if to wrench out the next platform from the depths. The liquid metal congeals, cools, and shapes itself into the next chevron. Two more statues accompany this platform as it rises from the lake. An elderly dwarven woman with two thickly braided sideburns that hang down from her cheeks, and another long mane of wild hair. She holds a scroll in her hand, and a holy symbol in the other. Grandmother Gaelis, Brackenbrick, a priestess of ancestral worship. The second is a male figure, grizzled looking, with a short stubble instead of a beard, bald on top, but perhaps the wildest and largest sideburns you've ever seen. Grandar Kazik Brackenbrick. Like the statue of granite, he too wears an apron, and he sports a rolling pin by his side and a cast iron pot by his feet. The rune upon this plinth seems to portray the ideal of legacy. You smell the scent of freshly baked goods, and you hear joy and merriment. You live in a fairly mundane life and a simple life as a baker, but are popular in town. You draw the attention of a young priestess, and love blossoms. As a priestess, you show him the way of the forge, and he learns. Together, you forge great works as a side job. Life is good. The town booms in trade. However, you feel tensions across society rising, as neighbouring nations seek to claim territory over Dragon's Mouth Bay. Tension subsides, and you both feel safe enough to bring up family together. And together you forge your greatest work, a boy. You call him Krennic. This was 100 years ago.
It's gonna look. I didn't know of the struggles at the bay. Never talked of. I wish I could have met you. Carry on your. I'll carry on your legacy. Show me your guidance. Let me know the old ways. And he will actually start praying. I don't know if it'll even work in a dream sequence, if that's what this is. But he will begin prayers to this.
Alright. You can certainly do that. Go ahead and roll another Smith's Tools check.
Alright, here we go. Bup. Oh, is that inspirational?
You could, if you have inspiration.
Yeah, you gave me for that speech. Here we go, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Second time, give me something better. There we go.
There you go.
That'll work.
That'll do it.
Once more, you slam the hammer down onto the grudge steel. The rune lights up beneath it. Another platform emerges from the lake after tremors rack the cavern. 4 statues wrought from iron accompany this 4th platform. On one side are 2 dwarven women, one younger, one older, a mother and a daughter with child. On the other side are 2 dwarven men, again one older who appears to be another baker, and one younger, a warrior of sorts. The younger man's statue appears to be rusted and defaced. The rune's meaning upon this platform appears to depict something similar to the word betrayal.
Rusted into fate. This younger man, he'll set the hammer on the plinth, rest it. He's gonna try and go up to it, if he can. And he wants to just try and brush. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, you go ahead.
I was just thinking, he's gonna rest the hammer there, and he's gonna try and go off and brush the face clean.
Okay.
Tend to it. And what does he see on that platform? I'm sorry.
As you kind of brush aside the rusted iron, immediately visions and sounds run through your mind. Struggle between 2 age-old enemies and rivals. 2 clans, Silverhearth and Burik. Love and betrayal. Great-grandfather Bayrok Brackenbrick, a warrior of Clan Burik, who fell in love with and married great-grandmother Aegna Brackenbrick, marrying into the Silverhearth clan. Great-great-grandfather Dunric Brackenbrick of Clan Burik.
Hold on. As he turns from what I assume to be his grandfather to... Is his grandfather the defaced one?
Let's see. This would be your great...
Janner die.
Oh, hello? Hello? Oh dear. For fuck's sake.
Super excited to see him
Hello?
take
Hello?
some immediate
Hello,
shit
yeah.
for
Okay.
relations
Okay.
and expanded.
Right, sorry about that. My internet just died. Right, so the one that's defaced appears to be great-grandfather Bayrok Brackenbrick, a warrior of Clan Burrick.
So he was from Clan Burrick.
Indeed he was. The older male dwarf statue beside him is great-great-grandfather Dunrick Brackenbrick of Clan Burrick, who greatly disapproved of Bayrock marrying great-grandmother Aegna Brackenbrick of the Silverhalf clan. So Bayrock married Aegna, who was part of the Silverhalf clan.
So on my father's side, I go back into the Brackenbricks. Or not the Brackenbricks, into the Burricks.
Indeed. And great-great-grandfather Dunrick Brackenbrick of Clan Burrick greatly disapproved of this union. Even more so after Aegna gave birth to a son of the Silverhalf clan. And of course, because of this, Dunrick exiled his own son Bayrock from Clan Burrick, which inflamed tensions between both clans. You hear sounds clashing, hammers slamming against shields. Father and son face off in battle upon the steps of Mountain Home. Two clans clash to redeem honor and to right a wrong. The son is victorious but mournful and racked with guilt. He holds his father in his arms. Tragedy befalls both clans. Morale is low. Both clans return home.
Oh no. He heads back to the plinth. I swear by our names, when I return home like this metal, I will mend you. And he'll strike the rune again.
Make another smithing.
Oh boy, 14.
Alright. You slam your hammer down onto the rune for another time. And you watch as the metal begins to crack. The glow of the rune fades. The lake of iron bubbles and boils. The cavern quakes once more. You step aside as a large pebble drops from above. You go to step back, but find that your feet won't move. You look down. You notice your feet have petrified into solid silver, which is slowly creeping up your form.
Oh no. Oh boy.
Silver hardens your legs, up your thighs, up your stomach. You're finding it increasingly difficult to move your arms.
Oof. Oh boy. Does it halt there, or does it just keep moving to consume me?
It keeps moving.
Am I able to try and... I don't know if there's anything I can even do here.
Make a strength saving throw.
Okay. Strength saving throw. But... Ooh. Not so good.
The molten silver continues to creep up your form. You yell out in defiance as it creeps over your face. Visions play in your mind. Darkness as liquid metal dances before your eyes. But something emerges from that darkness. A large, elegantly wrought ring of silver, with an immaculate emerald gemstone that sits at its apex. A silver crown. It begins to buckle and bend as if rusting like iron. Darkness creeping over it before your vision goes black. And you awaken in a cold sweat.
Is he just... What was... Who was the statue beyond? No, I'm not... I need to know! As he tries to grab the blanket and toss and turn back over. Get me back to sleep, damn it! Get me! As he tries to struggle, curled up in a ball. Unsure what to make of these dreams.
No matter how far, how much you twist and turn in your sleep, you are unable to find that dream once more. And eventually, morning comes. As you all reawaken from your slumber, one by one. Some of you with very intense hangovers. However, the hangover you, Ongrim, was pretty much cured by that alarming dream.
Adrenaline's a hell of a drug.
Oh yeah. Despite that, he is incredibly tired. His sleep seems restless and unfulfilling.
As you kind of look over towards where you're keeping your grudge steel, you notice it's slightly misshapen.
My steel?
Mm-hmm. The same place where you hammered it in your dream now seem to be upon the ingot itself.
Sleep smithing.
Sleepsmithing. He's unsure what to make of this.
And with that, I believe that's a good place to leave off.
Yeah.
Oh
And
wow,
on time for
34.
once.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize it had been going so long.
Heck yeah. Good session, everyone.
Yeah.
Very good.
I didn't really do too much, but I get to save the bear. That's good enough.
You did.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was a good session. There a few feels at the beginning.
It's
Got
good.
some feels, got some lore, got some spicy character stuff.
Yeah. I like the character development we had there. Got some juicy Arngrim lore. Got some Vellum Liska bonding.
I heard some catches in the voice during the first half of that session, even.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very emotional.
It was. I think that was an impactful thing, and that some of us might be able to relate to that.
Mm-hmm. Might be worth considering how this event might impact your characters, how it might develop them.
I mean, Liska's, I wouldn't necessarily say old, but it's a term.
She's been around.
She's an old war dog.
Mm-hmm.
She's seen a lot of shit. She's been around for like 10 times longer than most of the rest of these guys. So, yeah, she's seen a lot of war in her time. But it doesn't lessen the impact.
Oh yeah.
But she's had a lot of time to learn coping mechanisms.
There's something I wanted to pick people's brains about. How do you see item rarity? Do you see it as like the power of an item, or just how rare it is?
Oh.
I feel like both.
Yeah, I tend to agree with both.
This
I would
is
say
where
that they're connected, because it becomes much more difficult to create a powerful item, therefore they become more scarce.
Mm-hmm.
True, because I was looking. I'm basically filling out the fish sheet blurb, and
Mhm.
I was looking at Sal's armor for reference, like formatting and stuff. And that's an uncommon item, but there's only literally one in the world. So it's like my brain's just like, okay, it's not that strong, so it's uncommon. That makes sense. But in literal rarity, there's one.
This is where I would come in with
Okay,
two things,
I'm
if I
just
may.
going to stop recording here as well.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.